Line up, you fucking nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
They bring the heat.
Francis Ngannou is the hardest puncher in the history of fighting.
They bring the knowledge.
If you think this fight is going 5 rounds, you are out of your mind.
They bring you the picks.
The dog is getting it done in this one.
We deliver every single week. We're bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
The money line.
Don't miss it on the MMA Experts channel each week. Moneyline, we are back. This is episode 41. I'm here with my guy, Mike Finch. What's up, my brother?
I am good, AJ. Had a fun week last week watching Liver King devour a pound of liver in like 30 seconds. A lot of good fights at Bellator. And AJ survived a hurricane, ladies and gentlemen. So,
dude, big survival, man. I was little bit underwhelmed by how it was going to hit us. I was thinking it was going to be like a fucking nightmare, like you saw, probably on the news. But in my area, we were chilling. If you're coastal with hurricanes, you're in serious trouble. But like if you're more inland Florida, obviously if it's a direct hit, you're fucked like either way as far as like power going out and shit like that and wind damage. But if you're not coastal, you're not going to get as much intensity of the flooding and stuff, unless I guess, you know what though, take that back, because I know Orlando got some flooding and they're not even near the water, but they got like a lot of lakes and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the middle of the state. I learned a new fact about Florida, that the entire state is less than 400 feet above sea level. That is crazy. You guys are an island. You are flat as a board. That is insane to me. You realize, like, Laguna Beach, the town over here, has got way above that, and it's what, a few hundred feet from the water. It's like you guys are flat. The whole state is just ready to get swallowed up by the Gulf of Mexico. Good luck out there in Florida, guys. Glad you made it.
Listen, we have a few generations left before that, Mike Finch. we got some generations remaining.
Hey, housing out there is affordable, bro. I'm jealous. Out here in California, I can't get no house. I'm in an apartment, dude. So if I was in Florida, I'd have me a 4-bedroom with a big ass yard, big ass. What do they do? Those nets over the pool so no gators come out swimming with you, right?
Yeah, they have the screen enclosures, man.
For bugs?
Getting a pool though, and she's not getting one right away. So I'm like, what do you want, a fucking gator swimming in that thing?
Yeah, dude. I'm not trying to share my pool. Hell no. And Florida's got some bugs, a little swampy out there. But anyway, glad you're safe and sound, AJ. You didn't even, have any trouble. So good to hear. MJ, who works for Bellator, actually stayed back early in the week defending his house, and he was good too. So, glad you guys are safe and sound.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you. I'm glad that we made it. Let's bring up the chat for a sec here. Let's go. Houdini Beats. What's up, brother? Full 280 predictions. We'll be doing the full 280 predictions when that is actually coming up. We'll do some early talk about UFC 280, Islam Makhachev.
So many big fights.
Yeah, and we'll talk specifically about a recent interview with Makhachev that the Finch man will give us details for. I live down the street from Jim Miller. It'll protect us from anything, bro. What's up, Joe Rogan? Man. What's up? I'm trying to get the boxable mini house for like 50 to 60K. Elon lives in one.
All right.
I've never seen that.
Hype. Okay. Elon has one at Starbase, if I'm not mistaken, where he's working. So he lives in there when he's working. That makes sense. But come on, Elon's throwing a Halloween party this Halloween with a robot butler and shit in a big ass mansion. Elon's balling. So you won't find a bigger Elon Musk fan than me, but I guarantee you he does not live in that house full time. But it's pretty cool. Hey man, if you can get a 50K house, you are winning.
Yeah, bro. 50K is a damn steal for a house, bro. I didn't know though. I didn't know anything about these boxable houses until I just looked it up, bro. These things are actually pretty fucking nice, man. Elon Musk, I see why he chills in one when he's working, man. It's a pretty cool little feel.
He's only got like 12 kids, no need for any extra bedrooms or nothing, he's gonna be good.
The kids are staying with the nanny, my friend.
That's awesome.
Hey, much love, Junior Smile. Good to see you in the chat, brother. Let's go. Yeah, see, Bufo, you gotta reconsider, full time in it. But maybe if you're looking for a small spot, maybe a vacation house, maybe one you can travel with, bro. Put it in the back of your truck, bro. It could fit, right?
You know, I'm not about that. Like, if I go travel, I'm hitting an Airbnb. I'm not, you
Same.
know, and I'm not trying to plug Airbnb here. I just did. But, you
to
know,
buy.
I'm not the type of dude to be like, let's buy an RV. Like, nah, bro. I need a shower. I need you know, a normal setup, man.
Mike
Give me
Finch is not roughing it when he's traveling.
Nah,
I
bro.
get that.
I
I
ain't
feel
roughing
the same, though.
nothing, dude.
I feel the
Hey,
same.
I see it out here in Southern California, though. A lot of these guys out here in Southern California who they're not bums, but they sleep in their car. Like, you know, it's hard out here. So I'm blessed. I got a nice place, but it's an apartment. You know, if you move to, like, I'm from Illinois, Northern Illinois, you get a big ass house, 350K. If you got 350K out here, you ain't buying a shed in Huntington Beach, okay? You need $2 million if you want a 2-bedroom. So it's no joke out here in California, man. I know why people are going to those tiny houses and stuff. By the way, 3D printing houses, very interesting stuff. I hope that technology comes through in the future because we got too many people in too little houses out here in California.
Facts. Dude,
I didn't know we would talk
crazy.
real estate. You want to
Yeah, we're
start talking some real
This
estate?
is crazy,
I
man.
invested in Zillow, and that Zillow stock did not help me, dude. Did not go well for me.
Got a question for you.
Everything MMA.
How did you score Garam versus Ismagulov? I scored it for Ismagulov in a very close decision, but I remember thinking Garam put up a good fight for sure. But I did think he lost to Ismagulov. I think he could have maybe got the decision against Gamrot, though. I know he lost that one. Or no, he won that one and he shouldn't have got it. Excuse me on that. This matchup here, I did kind of feel like it was close, but he lost by a bit. You remember that fight, Mike Finch?
We're talking Saturday.
No, this is Garam Ismagulov was a couple months back, bro.
Then it's not coming to mind. I'm pulling it up. Got to refresh the memory here.
Refresh it, bro. Refresh it.
You know, I don't usually sit and score the fight. If you guys really want to score the fight, it's so worth going back, watching the fight again anyway, because that'll give you a real tell. Like, I don't know how many times I've thought, like, let's say, like George St. Pierre and Johnny Hendricks. You know, everybody's like, Johnny Hendricks beat him, blah, blah, blah. Go back and score it. George won 3 out of 5 rounds. It's always better when you go back and score it. So everything MMA, if you want my real opinion, I really got to go back and sit there with a piece of paper.
Fair, Mike Finch. Fair. I agree, though. Hey, shout out to my guy in Scottsdale. Does he have 12 kids? I don't know. I don't know nothing about Elon Musk to that extent. Mike Finch
24 kids.
Holy
He's got
shit.
double that. Elon's slinging. Never mind. He's you know, he's definitely holding true to his thought about the number one challenge humanity faces is underpopulation, is population collapse, right? The more that we get a higher standard of living and the more that, you know, we just essentially that, right? Just higher standard of living is it. I was going to say technology and whatnot, but that's all in with higher standard of living. The higher the standard of living goes, the less people have kids, you know? So you do that math over a long period of time. Nowadays, for instance, even in China, remember they had the 2-child policy. Nowadays, they don't. Nowadays, they're trying to get them to have kids because the population is going like this. More old people, less young people, not good for economics, not good for everything Elon wants to do. Go to Mars, populate other planets. So have some babies out there, ladies and gentlemen. You have permission.
This right here will be dropping mine on Sunday. Me and Mike Finch will be hitting it next week, bro. There's no UFC this weekend, brother. This is an off-week show. We'll talk some trending topics. We got to get.
We'll talk some fights too.
We got some good shit coming, son. We'll talk some fights. We got some early leans we're gonna give you. So we got MMA news coming up. But Johnny Eblen will be stopping by first. Finch jinxed the Aaron Pico fight with that. Oh shit.
I messed up for sure. Look, I gave you guys that inside access. All right. You guys
sick.
Got that live shot of Aaron
They loved
Pico
it.
in the back. I don't think any of us could have stopped Aaron Pico's shoulder popping out, man. It was actually really good to hear Aaron. He did a video when he got home to New Mexico, and he did a video and essentially just broke down what happened and how he's doing. He's fine. He's going to come back 100%. What a freak thing, AJ. His shoulder pops out. When did you first see that? Because when I'm sitting there cage side, I'm like, Aaron Pico's getting out wrestled by Jeremy Kennedy right now.
Can I
Sure
tell you?
enough.
I noticed it
Hold on.
before the commentary team mentioned it. I mentioned it on the live stream. I said, I think his shoulder's out of place because I saw the slope and then I saw him look. He looked actually, no, first I saw he looks to the corner and he points. And I know what he's saying. He's telling the corner, oh shit, it's out. And then you see it looks weird. And then you see him trying to, throw it back in place. So yeah, I was saying, man, I was saying on the live stream, I said, man, I beat the commentary to it, man. So if they need me, you know what I'm saying? If they need me in there, let me know.
For you guys who were betting on that fight, if you live bet Jeremy Kennedy when you first saw that injury, you made out really well because they didn't get that line adjusted quick enough while Aaron Pico was underneath Jeremy Kennedy with his shoulder out of its socket. You could have bet on the underdog Jeremy Kennedy live betting. So don't underestimate the power of the live bet. Keep your eyes peeled. If you do your homework once a year, you get a gift like that. Somebody tell me they hit that because that would have been a phenomenal play with an injured, unfortunately, of course, injured Aaron Pico.
Facts. That would have been a sick play, man. I unfortunately didn't jump on it live either. Finch, any comments on the Pico injury? I guess the reaction was, oh shit, we kind of got it with that one.
Yeah, look, it was a freak accident. It reminded me, this is my comment, Bufo. It reminded me of how Nate Diaz won the Ultimate Fighter. Who's an OG enough to remember when Nate Diaz won the Ultimate Fighter? AJ,
the most anticlimactic Ultimate Fighter win in the history, bro. I remember Anvil's winning the fight, bro. He was beating Nate Diaz, and then the shoulder tears.
Manville, the Anvil, Gamburian, the most underrated dude. I mean, that's a big statement, but definitely doesn't get enough love. He was beating up Nate Diaz in that fight. His shoulder pops out. Nate becomes the Ultimate Fighter, and the rest is history. So, that was that was what it reminded me of. And again, it was a marquee fight. I've never seen it happen in a prelim or something. The Ultimate Fighter headliner, who's going to be the tough winner. And then Aaron Pico versus Jeremy Kennedy. Guys, this was Aaron Pico's ticket to fight Patricio Pipple. Can you imagine Patricio Pipple versus Aaron Pico? I mean, you can't put a price I won't pay on that pay-per-view. I would love to see that fight. It just isn't going to happen anytime soon now. So pretty unfortunate. I said the two fights, AJ, I want to see in Bellator, and you tell me if you like these. I want to see Aaron Pico versus Patricio Pitbull, 145 title, and I want to see Usman Nurmagomedov versus AJ McKee. Early leans?
I'm going Patricio, TKO. I think he knocks out Pitbull. Or excuse me, I think he knocks out Pico.
Aaron Pico.
And I like Pico, but I'm going to tell you straight. I think Patricio's is too much, man. I think he could touch Pico too, because Pico's not going to just sit there and take the L. I think the savage that he's brought out, obviously he's tamed it, but earlier in his career, he would just go forward with reckless abandon. I think he'd look for that if he was down against Pitbull. And then also I would go with, right now I'm going Usman Nurmagomedov to take the decision, bro, against AJ McKee.
Damn. How is he beating AJ McKee? Is he out striking him? Is he out grappling him?
I think it's a close fight. I think it's going distance. I feel like the striking will be competitive, but I think Nurmagomedov will have more success than anybody else has had striking with AJ McKee. I'll say that. On the ground, even though it's a Nurmagomedov, I got to respect AJ McKee's grappling skills, but I just think he'll notice he's having a hard time getting Nurmagomedov down. I'd be kind of shocked if he's able to hold him down for any amount of significant time through any of the 5 rounds. And even on the contrary, I'd be kind of surprised if AJ McKee's on his back getting held down and controlled. Maybe 100%. On his back, I would not expect guard. He's trying to do things from the bottom, but I don't think it's going to be any manhandling either way. I think it's a competitive fight. I think right now at lightweight and Bellator, I think those are the two best guys.
Usman and AJ.
Yeah, I think so. I think Patricio loses to Usman. I think AJ McKee beats Patricio. And I think that AJ McKee and Usman goes full 5 rounds.
I'll tell you what, the Pitbull brothers are riding high. You guys are going to see a dangerous, explosive Patricio Pitbull against Usman. But, of course, Usman Nurmagomedov is the favorite. And I just wonder, the way he matches up with AJ McKee, he sees great wrestlers all the time. So will AJ's wrestling and grappling be able to come through? And then Usman Nurmagomedov, phenomenal kicker. So is AJ McKee. Very good from range. So is AJ McKee. Great strangles. So does AJ McKee have great strangles. The way they match up, dude, I think that is a fun. But give me that trilogy, man. And then we were talking about the way Pitbull and I'm forgetting the name too, Aaron Pico matchup. The way Aaron Pico storms forward, dude, those are like fight of the year type fights. That's what I think.
Yeah, no, I love that fight with Spike Carlisle and McKee.
Holy shit, Spike running across. That's the reaction you guys need to see. Go watch on Showtime. I'm sitting there like this. I'm like Joe Rogan when he watches a knockout, man. That was incredible to watch live. Spike comes out with a jump kick, starts throwing crazy punches. I was talking to Spike in the back after that fight. Matter of fact, I'll post it tomorrow if you guys want to check that interview out, because I don't think Bellator has posted it yet, and they've been really nice about letting me post stuff. Thanks, Bellator. Dude, Spike told me in the back, he's like, oh, I had the wrong game plan. I was like, Spike, that was perfect. The way he just made it chaos immediately. He punched AJ McKee in the face. It was like, that was the perfect way to start that fight. No feel out process like AJ McKee did to Pat Curran. The exact opposite. He blitzed him. He came out there like he was shot out of a cannon. That was the most fun fight I've seen in a long time, dude. I
think Spike Carlisle is a top class guy at lightweight in Bellator right now.
People don't know. People don't know. Everybody
he survived. He got beat up, but he survived. But I think AJ McKee beats up a lot of people at lightweight. I feel like Spike Carlisle,
as AJ said, that is one alpha ass ginger.
He's a savage. That's why he's the alpha ginger. I like him at 45 though. I think if he could cut the extra 10, a healthy cut, I think he matches up a lot better with guys there. And then our boy Mads Burnell recently lost. I was fucking disappointed seeing that, man, but I think he'll be back. The man will be back, man. It was just an unfortunate fight.
He will. He messaged me. We should have him on too. He messaged me and he said he gassed really hard. He doesn't know why. I don't think. Did he say he doesn't know why?
I think
I know he messaged me that he gassed really hard, and you could see that in the fight. It was a fatigue problem. He's traveling across the world.
He didn't look like the Mads Burnell that fought against Borish. At the very least, exactly. He didn't look as good. He didn't look on his game like that. I don't think Carvalho is at that level where he beats him that clearly. I was actually a little bit shocked when I was watching. I'm like, how the fuck is this going down? But Bellator surprises me a lot, Mike Finch. They pull some crazy shit. Like, what was the fight recently? Fucking name is escaping me.
Hit me.
Oh, what's the name? Curly haired, light heavyweight division.
What division?
Light heavyweight. What's the guy's name, bro? He recently fought the brother of Nemkov. He beat him.
Valentine. No. Sorry, the brother of
Carl Albertson, man. Carl Albertson.
Okay.
He lost that fight. That blew my mind, man.
Yeah,
for sure. I was in shock.
Well, the homie he fought was freaking. He was training with Yoel Romero and Liver King, bro. He was freaking.
No, you the secret juice.
Hey, I got to hang out with Paulo Costa all week, man. It was definitely fun.
How was that, bro? What's Paulo Costa like, man?
Oh, Paulo's the man.
Did you talk about getting him on the Moneyline?
Say again?
You talk about getting him on the show?
I mean, of course. He added me on Instagram, which was very cool. So we'll get Paulo Costa on. All right. I'm on it. I'm on it. Let me answer this one really quick. Buffo on the beat jumped in with we always got to talk about this freaking guy. Did y'all hear that Jake Paul is trying to set up his first MMA fight in Bellator versus Dylan Dennis? If it becomes official, who are y'all picking? I don't know anything. That's a genuine, but I wouldn't expect to, that's kind of a Mike Kogan, Scott Coker wheelhouse, man, if he fights Dylan Dennis, I got to think he's got some trouble on the floor. Here's some homework for you guys. Check out Jake Paul versus AJ. I'm going to mess up his last name. Azagram. He's the grappler.
I think.
There you go. Got wrecked, got submitted, just had no jiu-jitsu. So if he comes in with no jiu-jitsu against Dylan Dennis, it's going to be a problem.
Dylan Dennis
total striker versus grappler.
Dylan Dennis strangles him in MMA. That's not the fight. He can't fight Dylan Dennis to start.
I think it's fun. That's fun.
He's going to lose, man. I'm just saying he's going to lose.
Dylan's striking is bad. I mean, I can't shit on Dylan Dennis. He hasn't fought very often, so it's going to be difficult for Dylan Dennis. He's not seasoned right now, Right. So it's a competitive fight. I would not be betting my house on Dylan Dennis.
I hope Jake Paul sleeps him though. How great would that be? Flat. Jake Paul goes to MMA. And then you know what happens?
The boy can punch.
You know what happens though, man? He retires and he's gonna be shitting on jiu-jitsu, bro. He's gonna call everybody out. He's gonna say boxing, the best sport on the planet, whatever, bro. And then he never fights again. He walks out like a savage, man. That's my plan for Jake Paul with that.
I hope to see Jake Paul run it up in MMA a little bit because people got to see. I love it when these guys come in from outside of MMA. People got to see how well jiu-jitsu works, how well wrestling works, you know. And I know Jake's wrestled, but apples and oranges, man. You get into mixed martial arts, it's a totally different style of grappling you have to employ, and I think he's getting strangled for sure. You know, just like when Brock Lesnar came into MMA. Brock Lesnar, Division I, All-American, NCAA heavyweight champion, comes into MMA and he gets knee barred by Frank Mir. Like, you know, you have to get that learning curve down. If these guys aren't ready with the jiu-jitsu, they're getting choked.
They're getting choked, son. But we do have a savage ready to join us here. Bellator's very own middleweight champ, Johnny Eblen.
All eyes on me.
Johnny Eblen, what's up, my man? Good to see you, champ.
Good. What's good? Good to see you guys.
The champ is here, ladies and gentlemen. He shut out Gegard Mousasi. This guy is on a whole other level, and people are just starting to find out. Dude, so fun seeing you dominate that fight. I mean, here's a little piece, a little something that nobody else got to see that I saw, because me and you stayed in the same hotel, Mr. Eblen. You remember?
Yeah,
I do remember. I got a little bit of steak next door in that little steakhouse. It's like, I don't know, noon or something. I look out and I see Johnny Eblen in the middle of the parking lot by himself. Johnny, tell the people what you were out there doing. What was going through your head?
Man, well, one of the first things I do when I get up in the morning is I get outside. I try to get some sun, some morning sun if I can, if I wake up early enough. And I don't know, I just kind of reflect on what I'm going to do that day. And that day specifically, I was like really honing in on the techniques I wanted to execute that night and how I was going to hurt that motherfucker, because that's my job. And yeah, man, just was just going through my daily routine.
AJ, I don't know if you saw, but after the fight, he tells King Mo, he's like, I almost didn't believe in myself. And that was super powerful, because I remember back to you walking around that parking lot by yourself. And I'm thinking, like, you know, is this guy getting in the right headspace? Like, a lot of people see you guys, you gladiators out there who train so hard, who have these wrestling backgrounds. You've probably wrestled 10,000 matches. So you guys are used to competing. Tell me about that sense of doubt. When did that sense of doubt creep in? What do you mean you almost didn't believe in yourself?
It's just like moments of doubt would always, you know, come in here and there, you know, during camp, during fight week, even like little moments in the fight. But you know, I've figured out ways to get out of those holes to where I'm not digging myself into a really large pit to where like I literally don't believe in myself. There's always going to be moments of doubt, and just, you know, staying the course and working yourself out of it to where you never really dig that hole that deep.
Man, you dug a hole for your opponent. AJ, what'd you think about his performance against Gegard Mousasi?
I like Johnny Eblen's style, man. I like that he's a wrestler that can throw hands. I was a believer when I saw you get that knockout over Colin Huckbody, man, who at one point was signed to the UFC. You ran through him pretty easy. And I know, you know, he's a pretty fucking skilled dude from, you know, the regional level up and then getting signed. Now, I guess I have to ask you, the Yoel Romero fight. I know him and Manhoef was at 205, and now we're hoping he gets down to 85. I'll be honest though, man, this dude's huge. I don't know how the
I mean, I've heard some shit, and I don't think he's gonna cut down.
So you think that fight might not be going down?
No, I kind of wish it would happen, because it's one of the bigger names in Bellator, and I think it's actually a fucking great matchup for me. I have a great gas tank. He doesn't have a great gas tank. I have an awesome chin. I've never been knocked out. And that motherfucker hits hard. He ain't gonna knock me out. He's gonna have to kill me. He's not gonna kill me. I just bring a lot of problems to him because I have a high pedigree of wrestling. It can also strike, and I have a great gas tank. Not to say it's an easy fight. It would be a tough fight. But you know, I'm willing to jump in the cage with that motherfucker and try to take his life. So yeah, man. And I mean, it'd be a big fight for me. It'd be a big fight for him, and you know, be a lot of money, and I fucking would love to share the cage with him. But the only issue is I don't think he can actually weight. And Yeah, I know he was kind of saying that he was like the best 85er when he legitimately isn't though, and now he can't make the weight anymore. And I think he's trying to find other fights, from what I've heard through the grapevine.
Okay. So it might not. I was ready to see that fight though.
I mean, I'm ready to fucking scrap, dog.
Let's go.
Thing I'm worried about, the only thing I'm worried about is like me scheduling to fight him like early on this year because I want to fight 3 times next year. I want to defend the belt 3 times, and he like has to push it because he has to like lose weight, or some like doctor issue pops up, or he comes in like 5 pounds over and they don't sanction it.
Yeah, which is, I mean,
so
it's like a problem with Yoel. You don't know if he can make that weight. He's missed weight before when he's, several years younger, now 46, and he's still lean at 205.
It's not the ideal first title defense because of how many issues could pop up. I'd rather go with somebody that I know that's gonna fucking make weight, that deserves a title shot as well, and that's gonna show up. I think the only problem that we're having right now is the visa. But I was talking to Mike Hogan the other night, and he was saying it should be good by next year. So we're probably gonna fight Tokov next year. Yeah,
I like it. Yeah, I think that's a
fighting
good
the
matchup.
Russian.
He's a good matchup too. He's ranked 4 in the weight class. Yeah, he's right towards the top because I couldn't really see them. I know Edwards got a good win, but I don't know about him just winning one more. And then
he needs to win one more, and then it has to be like really impressive,
And he struggles with wrestlers forever, and now he's got a wrestler that can also strike. That's a scary matchup for Mr. Edwards, man. His brother's the champ in the UFC, but you might be coming for that Edwards name.
Hey, actually, my boy's George, so there's this, the story. I think there's like a story how like he actually got a hit in on George or something and backstage, and it wasn't Leon, it was Fabian, and like, so George's like, I'll corner you for that fight, bro. If you fight him, I'm like, fuck yeah.
That's sick, bro. That'd be intense as fuck. I'd like that pre-fight. I feel like that'd be good shit.
Yeah, he likes to talk shit. He's really mouthy. Real confident dude. But I'll shut him the fuck up when he gets in that cage with me.
Let's go. I love it.
Johnny Eblen is awesome in the back. When I got him to ask for the title shot, AJ, Johnny Eblen could cut a freaking promo. Okay, I gotta hover over Yoel before we leave it, please. Johnny, even if he blew weight and you get 30% of his purse, 20, 30, I mean, come on, that'd be sweet, right? I just can't think of another matchup that's going to do more for you, Johnny. Johnny, you would get the respect you deserve. You were an underdog against Gegard Mousasi. And if you want to pull it up real quick, Bufo on the beat, he said he cashed out fat ticket on Eblen versus Mousasi right under him. Thanks for the payday, my man. I had 100% faith. So this is a betting show. So shout out to everybody who bet on Johnny Eblen. Very smart people over here.
All the believers, all the smart people too. The intelligent.
You being
people.
The underdog, did you have any friends, family make some money?
Oh, my whole family, all my friends made money. They all put money on me. They knew, bro. They believed in me.
That's awesome, dude.
But yeah,
they believed in you. You gotta believe in you.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the Yoel fight. That's why I want it. I just prefer it not to be my first title defense because all the issues that I just stated.
Fair enough.
Rather fight Tokov in the meantime early next year, like January, February, and then give time, to Yoel to cut weight and fight him middle next year. And that'd be great. That'd be a great 1-2. My first 2 title defenses be great to the first 2.
If I'm hearing you right, the person who deserves this title shot is Tokov. You want to see Yoel Romero take out a Gegard Mousasi or somebody at 185?
No, he doesn't even have to do that, bro. That's what I'm saying. I thought about it. I was like, fuck it, bro. I'll just give him more time. If he doesn't want to fight in the meantime, sure. He doesn't have to fight. I just want to make sure he can fucking make weight. So I'll just give him as much time as possible to make weight within the year. So like middle of next year, that's almost a whole year to make 85. Not even. What? How many months is that? But anyway, you get the logic behind it.
I get it.
But I want to fight soon, and I don't want to have any issues when I have a booking. And this dude's been waiting for years to get it. He was actually supposed to get the title shot before I was, but Russia decided to invade Ukraine, and then weird shit happened. And I don't know. But the weird thing was he actually fought on my card when I fought Gegard.
That was,
So that was
last-
yeah.
that
He
was
fought.
last
He
year.
fought like on the undercard. Like
Right.
I
Yeah,
don't
he
even
fought,
know who he fought. I
Muhammad
can't remember the
Abdullah.
guy's name.
AJ's got it.
Yeah, Muhammad Abdullah. He TKO'd him in the first.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It was like kind of a not to say he's a nobody, but like not a big name, right?
Well,
So I was a little
31 and
confused.
3, good record.
Yeah. So
31 and 3. These Russians bring these crazy records, dude. What's up with
That
this?
is
They're just
crazy.
fighting every
they'd be
weekend
fighting
in Russia. What's going
dog.
on?
They'd be just stacking the record up in Russia.
I guess, bro.
Yeah.
Did you hear like what Conor McGregor said about Khabib? His first 15 fights should be amateur and that shouldn't count. I mean,
No, oh come on, those guys are savages out there, man.
Yeah.
You can't say that.
I was an amateur MMA fighter, and it doesn't count for my professional record, but I could knee them in the face. I could do head kicks, no shin guards. I mean, we were in 4-ounce gloves.
And you
know what
weren't
I'm
getting
saying?
paid.
Did I get paid? I mean, we can't talk about that, but I might have
You're
got
crazy,
a little bit.
dog. You're out there just raw dogging it. Fucking no rules.
I might have got
just
paid a
fucking-
little bit. I might have
Just
got
raw
paid a little
dogging amateur fights. That's
bit.
crazy.
I mean,
dog.
hey, my opponent
couldn't
got
do-
paid too.
I couldn't do ground and pound my first amateurs. I had like shin guards on, fucking. Well, I could only ground and pound to the body. It was really weird. They ended up changing the rule, but then I went pro.
Got it. See,
But I was just getting my
that's
feet wet. That
amateur.
was fun. Yeah,
That makes sense. In Illinois, back in 2011, when I was fighting people, it was pro fights, but they were free. You know what I'm saying?
damn dog. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, Johnny Eblen, you are storming onto the mixed martial arts scene, and people are learning about you for the first time. Johnny, when you look across and you see the Israel Adesanyas, the Alex Pereas, the Robert Whitakers, and you look at the UFC stars, and then even in your own division, you beat Gegard Mousasi, but there are other people out there like a very vocal Yoel Romero. What separates you from all these guys? Because what I see is that you are younger, hungrier, and I think in your prime now, or maybe it's even next year. I mean, you are young in your career. What do you have that they don't? Why are you the best?
I think you named it. I'm younger. I'm hungrier. I'm more intelligent with my time and how I spend training and how I spend just everyday life. Like what my focus is. My focus is to become the best human I can possible. It has nothing to do with fighting, actually. I'm trying to stay as healthy as possible. I'm trying to do the right things every day. And honestly, my goals in life are bigger than just fighting. But also I have like intangibles. Like I have amazing wrestling. I have a gas tank that lasts forever.
Yeah.
I can strike. I can grapple. I'm the complete package.
Diamond hands.
Nice.
He's got diamond fucking hands, right?
Now
Oh, man.
you're the complete package, but we got a new package in the UFC that just signed. We got a fan question here that I like. Do you think Bo Nickel can be a middleweight champion one day? And what advice would you give him to be champion? Overall, what are you thinking about Bo right now?
I've trained with Bo, and Bo's good. He's just very, very green. My advice to him is just be like, take it slow. Don't get too ahead of yourself, and get the fights that you need. Like get the right fights at the right time, and don't push yourself too early. Not to call anybody out, but like Aaron Pico is a good example. Kind of got pushed a little bit too early. Aaron Pico's a fucking savage though, and actually, it broke my heart to watch him dislocate his shoulder in LA when I was at the fights, and that dude's a dog, bro. Literally, his arm was out, and he was like trying to put it back in, and like was willing to fight. I'm like, bro, I'd be like, take me to the hospital, bro. Like this shit ain't going back in, because I've dislocated my shoulder multiple times, and it's fucking painful. It's terrible, but yeah, Bo could be a champion one day. Definitely has all the skill sets to do so. He's just very green right now. He just needs more time and more experience. And my advice is just don't rush yourself.
That's
When you
fantastic
say
advice.
he's green, because AJ, he actually got to grapple with him and spar with him. When you say he's green, what I saw in the UFC is he like jumps right into a mounted triangle. I mean, he's at least pulling the frickin' trigger.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
Level of competition. That's all I'm going to say.
Sure.
Level. He is, for being green, he does have a lot of skill sets. I will say that. He started out with more skill sets. Like I don't even like jiu-jitsu, to be honest. Like I like punching people in the face and like double legging them and like kick him in the head. and like maybe like doing an occasional elbow or like I'm working on some flying knees. Like I'm working on some special shit.
George,
So,
the inner Masvidal is coming through, man.
Yeah. No, but no, I will say this. He is a student of the sport. I see him pulling off some like cool shit. Yeah, man. He's green, but like he just needs more experience fighting and like needs higher level competition, like train with higher level guys, because there's certain things don't work on high level guys.
Fair enough. Hey, and while we're on the topic of people that you've trained with, didn't Sean Strickland come out and spar with you?
Yeah. That dude.
Go on. How did that
animal,
go? Was
bro.
that fun?
Oh man, he's awesome. We literally just gear up and we fucking fight each other. We literally just fight. It's
exactly
just,
like
it's just
Sean
like
Strickland.
a free pay-per-view. So whoever's watching, free pay-per-view. And we just get after it. And I'll go to Vegas here and there and train with him. And he'll come out here and we'll train. And he's a good buddy of mine, and we just get after it when we train, man. And I make him better, he makes me better, and we just have fun with it.
Dude, yeah, you and Sean Strickland, I would love to be a fly on the wall, man. You said free pay-per-view. Where's the Instagram live, Johnny Eblen? What the fuck? We're trying to watch
I gotta start a fan time and fucking sell that shit, bro.
OnlyFans, is that what you mean?
No. OnlyFans is trash, bro. Don't do OnlyFans.
Okay.
Fan time.
We're not plugging them. Plugging them.
Plug fan time.
Johnny, when you trained with him, you obviously got to see him fight Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
It looked like he just decided to parry with his backhand way too far and got caught with a left hook. Simple as that. Give me your thoughts on his mistake there. And then now Alex Pereira getting that big win. They're just propelling him into a title shot against Israel Adesanya. Do you have thoughts about that fight?
Okay. First question I'll answer is, this is all Sean got to do.
Yeah.
You gotta eat breakfast like this. You gotta cook his steak like this. You gotta drive his car like this. Drink water like this. Just keep that right hand near that chin. I just think he went to parry a little too early. He thought it was a jab, and Pereira came with a left hook, and that motherfucker hits hard in those 4-ounce gloves, man. Touch the chin, can fucking knock you the fuck out. I'm sure he'll learn from his mistake, and he'll be better, from that fight. So that fight, that's a fucking good fight, man. Like two high-level kickboxers who previously fought. And the interesting thing is when I watched the actual fight, Izzy was winning, and then the motherfuckers, flatlined him. And I'm like, holy shit. Also, Izzy has more experience fighting in MMA. He has more experience, with jiu-jitsu, with wrestling. So who knows? Maybe we see him, pull out a joker, and next thing you know, he's getting takedowns or some shit. Using some BJJ. I don't know. It would be good to mix it up just to get him thinking more. More like the more things you can get your opponent to think about, the higher likelihood of you pulling some shit off. So, I think it's going to be a great fight. I just think Izzy has a little bit more on the experience side. And, if you watch their previous fight, he was winning. So I could see him outpointing Pereira. But I could also see Alex winning by knockout, though. More so by knockout, in my opinion.
That's the risk.
I kind of feel like if Adesanya is to lose the fight, I don't see him getting worked over for 5. I see one clean shot and it's done. And I could see Adesanya the same way as the kickboxing fight, winning. But he's going to be striking. If Adesanya mixes in wrestling here and puts Pereira on his back, as much as people might hate that, I think that's the best tactic, bro.
He doesn't even have to take him down all the way, though. That's the thing. Like, just like using it and getting them to think about it. So that's a big thing. Like, you don't have to go balls to the wall if you shoot. Yeah. It's almost like a feint, but it's just a different type of feint. You're feinting to the legs, or you're feinting to grapple up upper body and get in the clinch and put them against the cage. And it's just getting them to think of more things to where you have more tools to use to pull some shit off that you want to land. That's that's how I think of it, at least. Maybe these motherfuckers don't, but that's just coming from my brain.
Dude, hey, Johnny Eblen just gave us a piece of his game, AJ. That's beautiful, man, because you are a mixed martial arts fighter, and a lot of people have criticized Israel. If Izzy's going to show off his wrestling, now's the time.
Yeah, we have a comment
Facts,
here too. It's pretty
facts.
good. Izzy's new video on his channel shows he's doing wrestling. I don't know if maybe this is the fucking game plan. Let's wrestle a bit. We're doing MMA now. Yeah.
I
He
would
beat
like
him in
that.
kickboxing. That's over now. Yeah, I'd rather
I
see
would
him shoot.
respect that. I would
Same.
respect that actually. Like, not that I like, hate Izzy or anything. I really don't. I mean, I think he's a little bit weird, but that's. I mean, like, I'm not a guy like that paints his nails and shit, and like, I don't know. Like, I don't watch anime. I'm not a big anime guy. Like, I wouldn't like go hang out with the dude, and like, I personally, I wouldn't. I'd rather like get in the cage and fight him. But if he went in there and like wrestled and like utilized that and like was and you know mixed it up a bit, I'd be like, damn, that's cool. That's impressive. I like that.
I guess I have to. We kind of talked about this a bit, but this is a
good
question about the Bellator UFC co-promotion event, potentially fighting Izzy, top 5 guys in the UFC. You already said what you kind of have above them already, mentality, you know, the hunger, the youth. As far as stylistic matchup wise, if you do look, it's a division that's heavy of strikers, I would say, towards the top. And Alex Pereira fight, I'd assume you're extremely confident that you'd probably strangle Pereira, a guy that might be a little bit green still in MMA. Suffocate him. I like that. Suffocate him.
I like to suffocate people with pressure.
So ground and pound TKO. We're breaking them here.
Ground and pound, TKO, exhaustion, all of it. He trains with my buddy Glover. So I'm trying not to talk shit, but like, but I just see me having my way in that fight, just purely because of my level of wrestling and my level of like pace. Like everybody in the gym that trains with me understands that like I have a pace that's unmatched. Like the only other person that could maybe match it, maybe that I used to train with is Colby. But even then, like I remember when I used to train with Colby like 2 years ago, he could actually he had trouble like trying to even take me down. I mean, he is smaller than me, I'll give him that. But that's my level of cardio. Like he's the cardio king. Like not really though. I'm the cardio king.
Hell yeah. What about I guess the matchup to me that I think is maybe the most intriguing because it's a guy not with an obvious gap anywhere is Robert Whittaker. The uncrowned champ at 185 pounds in the UFC.
He's a legitimate killer too. And I respect that motherfucker and I would love to share the cage with him. I just think I watch him fight and it's almost like the same fight every time. So he's very predictable, but not to take anything away from him. He's fucking explosive. He's very good at what he does. I just think he has a skill set that he works with that's been working, and he doesn't really go away from that skill set or these tools that he uses. I have tools that I use right now, but I'm like expanding my base to where it's like I'm switching stances. I'm doing a bunch of shit. I'm gonna make it to where like I have so many tools you're not gonna be able to predict how I'm gonna come in to fight. Because the thing is like everybody fights. Every fighter's different. So the bigger skills, the bigger tool base I have, the more shit I can use, the more shit I can. Different versions of Johnny Eblen I can bring in depending on who I'm fighting. Because that's the beauty of fighting, as opposed to wrestling. I can game plan for months for a motherfucker, and I can do some cool ass shit because I have so much time to game plan for somebody, especially somebody that I know that's probably going to come in that has a high probability of doing the same shit. So like Robert Whittaker is a good example of that. I mean, a lot of these dudes kind of do the same shit, you know, over and over. But
who do you think about Chimaev though?
Good wrestler, has some power. I'd make him look human though.
I like it. I like the confidence, Johnny Eblen. I love it.
He
I love it.
like the Burns fight. Like I was like, yeah, I expected that because Burns is a dog. Burns is can scrap. He can strike. He can grapple. And he made him look human. So a well-rounded mixed martial artist that you know is high level. Fucking, I'm talking about myself right now. I'll make that dude look human.
Let's go. I like it. Listen, this is good in the chat right here. That's a great fight. Do you get scared when you see a mullet in public thinking it's Aaron Jeffrey? We got the Aaron Jeffrey fan base right here.
He don't want this smoke, dog. I mean, he can come and get it, but he don't want this smoke. You know, he looks good though. I respect him. He's a dude that's he has a lot of fights, and you know, it looks good. Looks good. Up and coming dude. Good, decent. You know, decent wrestling, decent striking. I'll put him to sleep though.
Were you impressed by the knockout over Mr. Van Zant?
Oh, damn, that's fucked up, dog.
I
wasn't impressed. I was actually kind of like, I was a little bit surprised. I didn't expect it to go that way. I did see whenever they rescheduled that fight for him to fight the dude with the mullet, I was like, I think that guy's a harder matchup for Austin. I was like, the guy previous Austin was, very probable to win that fight. As soon as they rebooked it to this guy, I was like, this is a little bit more problematic for Austin. I could see him maybe losing this fight. Not to think I didn't really think he would lose like that, but I thought the probability was a little higher when he switched out.
People were sleeping on Aaron Jeffrey, man. I have no idea why. I was looking at his comments on his Instagram, which is a terrible idea to do. But people were like, you're fighting this can now. You can crusher. You like fighting bums. Who is this Aaron Jeffrey? People disrespected Aaron Jeffrey. They do not understand. Aaron Jeffrey has been there, done that. He is approaching his prime. Very dangerous fighter. Yeah. I could see you and Aaron Jeffrey throwing down for the belt someday.
Yeah, I could see that too. I would love to fight him. Honestly, I like that people were fucking sleeping on him and he fucking proved him wrong because I did the same ass shit, bro. So fucking fist bump, Aaron. Good job,
Listen, Aaron Jeffrey, I gotta give him some love because years ago when I first started the channel, he jumped on and did an interview, man. So I'd love to see a fight between two returning guests to the show down the line. It'd be pretty sick, man. I feel like
fuck yeah. I would love to square up with that dude. I'll square up with anybody, dog. I ain't scared. I want to make money. I want to knock people the fuck out. I want to impress fans. That's what I want to do. I want to make the world a better place. We got to make the world a better place. We got to promote the right stuff.
That's why we're fighting Yoel Romero at heavyweight. Fuck a weight class, Johnny. Let's go.
Hey, as long as I'm getting paid the same as I get paid as a champ, I'm in.
Johnny, what do you walk around at? You're a big guy.
Like 205.
205.
Now, do you feel as though there's one fighter I think that might instill some fear in you, Johnny Eblen? Jake Paul transitioning to MMA.
I was like, who the fuck is this guy gonna like literally like probably the scariest dude would be Yoel, and I'm not scared of him. So I'm like,
right?
Who? Like, nah, dude. Jake Paul, he trying to do MMA. I mean, I hope he comes to fucking Bellator, but I can't fight. Like, he's not gonna fight me, bro.
No,
fucking champ.
That would be insane.
No, he'll
that's
fight
like
45.
That's low hanging fruit for me, bro. That's like me going to Publix and like beating somebody up in the store. Like, that's like unfair.
He can throw some punches at least, right? You're not impressed with the power.
Okay, bro. Okay, I'll give him this. He does have a pretty hard right hand. I'll give him that. He can throw a right hand.
Right.
Some decent. But like, I'll eat his calf up. I'll elbow the shit out of him. I'll fucking take him down, ground and pound his ass. I'll fucking outbox him too, bro. I'll do it all. I'll show him who's his daddy, and I'm his daddy.
We're sending this to Showtime, bro. We got to make this shit happen.
Please do.
AJ.
I think
he'll ignore it. He'll
in
ignore
a boxing match. Maybe like if you're the double champ in Bellator, I think we could work towards getting the Jake Paul boxing match, and we'll get a bag right there. Let's go. I think that's the plan right now.
Yeah. That would be a big bag to get. I will say this though, I am proud of him for fighting Anderson Silva.
Yeah,
I'm proud of him.
Who you pick?
I respect him. I can't say I respect him. I'm proud of him because I'm his daddy. I'm a proud daddy. I'm a proud father.
Anderson Silva is fighting Jake Paul in an 8-round boxing match. Do you think Anderson outpoints him?
Yeah, I could see that. I could see Anderson slick. I watched his last boxing match with who? Not his last one. The one before that.
Chavez Jr.
Yes. He looked good.
Yeah.
I'm like, if Jake beats him, I'll put a little respect on his name. I'm going
to be honest. I'm picking Jake right now.
Very proud father. You're picking Jake?
I'm picking Jake, bro, because this is what I'm thinking happens. Anderson 100% has the more, technical game, rangy. He's slick. Jake Paul's still a little bit raw, but dude, he's still 47. And I feel like Jake Paul finds one big shot we've seen Silva. I know it's with 4-ounce gloves versus 10-ounce gloves is the difference, but I think back to that fight when he's fighting Uriah Hall, and Uriah Hall's got, what is he throwing? One punch around maybe, and clips him, puts him out. I know it's boxing gloves, it's a little different, but I think Jake Paul could touch him.
Suspect chin. Yeah, I could see that.
That's what I feel. But
no, that's probable. That's probable. Yeah, and it's southpaw. He's a southpaw, so that sets him up really good for a right hand. Yeah, maybe he lands that fucking right hand hard and puts him away. Who knows?
I mean, 47. It's pretty old, bro. It's pretty old. Anderson's been there. I was watching Anderson Silva fights when I was like, I don't know, 14. You know what I'm saying? I'm 30 years old, bro.
Yeah. I remember I watched his fight when I was like in, was it middle school or high school? No, high school.
Man.
At the Hooters, and he was losing to Chael Sonnen, and I was like a Chael Sonnen fan at the time because I wrestled in high school, and I was like, fuck yeah, fuck. And then he submitted him. I'm like, God damn it, now I'm an Anderson Silva fan.
I feel like that fight
Like
really
that
brought him to the
motherfucker.
next level.
What's that?
That fight like really brought him to the next level. I think a lot of people that are like newer fans forget, bro. He wasn't respected for a while. Like that fight against Talish Leites. Do you remember that fucking snooze fest? Damian Maia. Holy shit. There were some bad fights back in the day.
Anderson Silva, you absolutely suck. Remember Chael Sonnen?
Chael really brought him. Chael really brought that fight to the top. His promo, the way he cuts promos, man, the way that guy talks, the way that guy tells stories. I'm like, fuck, I wish I had an ounce of that.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Oh, you got an ounce of that.
Stop. He can sell me some shit I already have. And I'll be like, yep, well, sure, Mr. Chael Sonnen, thank you. Stealing money.
Chael made Anderson Silva, bro. That's my hard take of the day, bro. He created him, bro.
Look, I'm excited to see this Tokov fight. I really am. I hope you get it done. But by the time that Yoel Romero fight comes around, the promos will be insane. I see you soon, boy.
Bro, I couldn't even understand.
Bro.
The only thing I could understand on his post-fight interview was him barking. I was like, okay, he's barking.
That was hard, right?
I get it. And then he went on this whole speech, and I'm like, I literally don't know what he just said.
I'm the best. 185 pounds.
I think he said 185, and he's the best. And I laughed, and that was about it.
We want to see it, and I guarantee the promos will be bananas, and you'll be getting hit up, and Johnny Eblen will get the damn respect he deserves. All right, Johnny, we can't keep you all day. AJ, you got anything else?
I got more. I'm keeping them for at least another couple minutes, man. We got another question right here, Johnny. One more at least for you. Eblen, do you consider Patricio Pipple the greatest fighter in Bellator history, besides you in 2 years, of course? Your mindset, I'm assuming, is that. And could he be in the UFC?
I think he's one of the better Bellator fighters in history, maybe the best. And yeah, he 1000% could be in the UFC. He could be a UFC champion. That guy's fucking good. He has a great fight IQ. He hits like a fucking truck. And he's a well-rounded mixed martial artist, and he has a good team behind him. So he has all the capabilities to be a champion in the UFC.
I like it, and I agree with it 100%, man.
I mean, the only blemish is the AJ McKee finish, and he got it back,
Yeah, he got it back.
Fight. But that is a phenomenal athlete. The way you got to see him fight Adam Boric live, I mean, the way he's just so patient, Johnny. Honestly, it reminds me of you. You guys control the fight on the feet. I think it was John Danaher, the jiu-jitsu coach, who was talking to Joe Rogan when Joe was saying, well, it's great to take people down because you get to control them. You can't control somebody on the feet. And he goes, Vasil Lomachenko controls boxers on the feet. The way you controlled Mousasi, for instance, the way Patricio Pitbull controlled Adam Boric, you guys just make them skip to your loop. Somehow you guys are in complete control of when the striking happens and when it doesn't. Patricio Pitbull is a great example, a true veteran. You really saw that against Adam Boric live, didn't you?
I did. Alexander Volkanovski does this as well. What we do is we set a frame and we make them fight within our frame. Like, you'll see them break frame here and there or break rhythm, and you're fighting their rhythm. But what you're seeing is they're making their opponent fight in our rhythm. So actually, that's one big thing that DP does help me with during that fight with Gegard. He was like, Johnny, moving and grooving, fight your rhythm. And it's like, oh shit, okay, yeah, I need to fight my rhythm and impose my frame on this motherfucker. Don't take this dude's frame. Don't fight on his rhythm. And that's what I did. And I think that's what we see with Patricio. That's what we see with, all the greats, Alexander Volkanovski, even boxers, across the board. It's about getting those guys to fight in your rhythm and your frame.
I've never heard it put like that, bro. I've trained at all types of gyms, and I've never heard it put like that. Make them fight within your frame. When I hear the word frame, I think of like jujitsu frame. You literally mean get them to fight within your what? When you say frame, what are you talking about?
Like your frame of reality. Like your
cadence?
Yeah. Like you can tell when you're not fighting within your frame or within your rhythm.
Got it.
It's like
if people watching, what does cadence mean? Because I know some of them don't have a clue.
Your rhythm. Yeah, I said skip to your loop. George St. Pierre would do it to everybody.
You get what I'm saying? Just the different semantics. Most of the that's
yeah. We're talking
different
about
words describing the same thing.
Okay.
But when you said frame, that was an interesting way to put it. And for those of you guys who don't know, Dustin Poirier could not have been happier. Wait 1 second. King Mo could not have been happier.
Yeah, dog.
Johnny Eblen won the 185 title in Bellator. So these are your brothers, Yeah. I mean, for people who don't know, Johnny, you were sleeping in Mike Brown's house. Have you moved out, by the way? You got your own crib?
I got my own crib. I'm trying to
Tell
save
Mike
money.
Brown to come say hi.
Gas prices are high. Inflation. Rent's really high. Mike let me stay a little bit longer.
That's awesome. AJ, that was phenomenal. You got anything else for the champion?
Dude, Johnny, I'm glad to meet you, man. You're a cool dude. I like the vibe you bring, and I'm looking forward to you busting some heads in the next. I'm hoping 3 months. I'd like to see you before the end of the year. I think maybe end of December. We do it on like the New Year's card, something right around there if they're doing one.
I hope so, man. I want to fight again this year, but it's just not looking like it in the cards. I spoke with Kogan, and Kogan's the guy that calls the shots mostly at Bellator, and he's like, yeah, we're looking like early next year. And I'm like, all right, you're the boss. It's all good, man. I wish I could fight 3 times this year, but I'm a champion, and things have to line up a certain way to make fights happen. And it's okay. I understand.
And the fact you're walking around at 205, would you consider, the drop? Would it be 205? You're just going to walk in right at 205 to light heavyweight, So obviously we're jumping way ahead in the future, but I'm just thinking the dual weight mindset. Would you consider up or down? Do you think you could make 70? Is there any way to do it?
I could make 70, but fucking, I don't want to.
Fair.
I'd rather just fight up. The guys are slower anyway at 205. And more power, but a little bit slower. I'd be a lot bigger at 70. I couldn't make 70. I'd rather just go up.
I was standing next to Scott Coker when he said this to MMA Junkie, so I know Scott already leaked it to the media. I'm not breaking any news here, but Scott said, this is a quote, there's an 80% chance that they'll do an event in Japan this winter. You down to fight in Tokyo?
Fuck yeah. I'm half Korean, dog. That's right next to my the homeland, bro.
Let's go.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
All right, totally Johnny's fight in Japan. Japanese fans are the shit. I want to get some Japanese fans, bro. I want to fight all over the world. I want to go fight in Ireland. I want to go fight in the UK. I want to go fight in Japan. I'll fight anywhere, bro. Just pay me and show me a good time, and I'll be there.
What happened with the Korean Canelo nickname? I never heard the backstory on the switch.
I was running. I'm gonna probably change my name to the Belt Collector once I win a few belts. So.
Diamond Hands.
I might have a new nickname. I mean, the Human Cheat Code. We got Diamond Hands. We got Jeblin. We got the Korean Canelo. We got Soulja Boy, like Seoul Korea. Dean Thomas actually gave me that one. I got a lot of nicknames, dog.
He's gonna keep them coming, AJ.
Keep them going.
Right, fair enough. He wants to fight around the world. He's going to fight Yoel Romero in Cuba.
They're going to call me Mr. Worldwide because I'm fighting all over. Johnny, Mr. Worldwide. Eblen.
Hey, there it is.
What about Mr. Worldwide, Johnny Eblen? And we put in the front.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can do that too.
That's the way.
The placement, that means a lot too.
Yeah.
You just got another one right here. Johnny Eblen, we appreciate your time today, champion. How does everybody keep up with you? Just follow him on Instagram. I see you
follow me
on
on
there. I see you
Instagram.
posting some good training stuff. I
Yeah.
love the functional movement stuff you put up
Yeah.
to give them a shout out.
Yeah,
You
shout
know,
out
it was,
Functional
it's
Patterns.
very like, you know, I'm all achy because I hold pads all the time. I try to steal some of your shit, bro. It looks good.
Get on their 10-week online course. Go to their website, www.functionalpatterns.com. They got a whole course selection in there. They got the 10-week online course. They have the functional training systems. They also have like there's like a drop-down menu, I think, and it shows all the practitioners near you. They'll also work like remote and stuff. Honestly, bro, I was in like agonizing pain coming out of college, having shoulder issues, knee issues, and they got me healthy and honestly moving better than ever. I'm becoming a better athlete utilizing their system. So big shout out to FP and Nadia Aguilar and all the people in FP that run that company. That's a company of the future. So yeah, man, highly recommend that system and the protocols that they push.
There it is.
Johnny Eblen, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, champ.
No problem.
Rian Canelo, Mr. Worldwide, the man of many nicknames and soon to be many belts. We'll see you soon,
Yes,
Johnny
sir.
Eblen. Much love, brother.
Much love.
Peace.
Peace.
All eyes on me.
Mike Finch, let's switch it up real quick.
Where you at? Where you at?
There we go,
Oh,
there
there
we
we go. There we go.
Johnny
Hey,
Eblen, ladies
man,
and peas.
that was one of my favorite interviews, bro. How cool is Johnny Eblen?
That was one of the best, if not the cream of the crop, creme de la creme. And I think, you know, that's the guy, bro. That's some serious fucking talent you're looking at. Young,
People don't
champion,
know.
dominant.
Mhm.
I like Johnny Eblen's flow, man. And he's funny too, man. I like he talks a little shit. We got some good moments in that little interview right there, man. That was like a podcast episode. That was good shit.
He keeps it real. And as far as I see, that was an announcement he just gave us. He said earlier he said this to Mike Bone for MMA Junkie. He said this to media. He said that he wanted Yoel Romero. He even said this to me at the event. He said he wanted Yoel Romero to make his Bellator 185 debut, right? Fight at middleweight for the first time, make weight in Bellator. Then he would grant him the title shot. Today, you heard what he said. He's like, nah, give me a little time. We'll run it. Dude, my man Eblen's a gangster. I want to see him defend
That's the
that
fight
belt
they
3
want.
times.
That's the fight they want for sure. That has to be the fight. I don't think Tokov brings in the same excitement. He just recently fought in the prelims. Yeah, he's good. He's really good. But he doesn't have any of the hype behind him. And bro, it's not like Tokov's a joke. He beat Shlemenko some years ago, who was the fucking king of the middleweight division. Yeah. So I think Tokov has got the resume. He just doesn't have the fan intrigue necessarily.
Korshkov's a freaking problem. I should have asked him about Korshkov. I mean, yeah, Bellator's got some dangerous 185ers, but the name value of the freak of freaks, Yoel Romero, come on, son. It's going to do so much to his career, man. I want to see it.
Yeah, bro. Eblen's a walking W, bro. Good to fucking have him on. He's the man, bro. I'll bring up some of the chat right here. This question here. People talking shit about UFC pay. Do you see what Pipple made as a champion? 150K. At the end of the day, that's still 150K.
And I don't know if that includes the bonuses. And he gets his own sponsors. This is not, there's no Reebok deal or some shit. Like they get their own sponsors. And he had the opportunity to fight for $1 million. Unfortunately for Patricio Pitbull, standing across the cage from him was AJ McKee. Which he ended up getting that win back. So shout out, to Patricio. It's so hard for me to parse that line, AJ, because there's a freaking rivalry there, and both of them are so cool to me. I feel like I'm always gonna burn the other one when I talk about one. Like I was standing next to AJ McKee. I'm like, that is a blinging watch, bro. He just takes off his watch, hands it to me. He's like, try it on. Let me try it on. Like that's the type of people they are. Patricio Pitbull let me hang out with like him and his kids in the locker room in the back there, and some of these private moments he lets me videotape and hang out with those guys. They are classy people, but they hate each other, so I gotta walk a fine line.
Be careful, Mike Finch. We're not trying to get you in trouble. Now, for the people watching, make sure to smash the hell out of the like button.
Come on,
enjoying the content. Show some love to the Moneyline. Make sure to subscribe to, and I will say, don't forget about my bookie. Use promo code Moneyline. Get yourself that double playback bonus and support the boys here. So definitely check out my
We
bookie.
appreciate it.
I know we got no UFC this week, but still next week we'll have some good bets to place. I look forward to talking about that card next week. But we got early leans to talk about here, but I do got to answer 2 questions before I jump to it. Opinion on Badr Hari versus Overeem. I'm going to ride Badr Hari by KO. I can't bank on Overeem as many times as he's been slept in the past several years. But ultimately, the secret juice is back in the system. So I don't know what to expect necessarily. But I'm riding with Badr Hari.
Look, this is a totally different Alistair Overeem. I think the biggest influence on Alistair's career is when he decided to go train. What was it? Jackson Wink, yes? Was it Jackson Wink? Where was he at? It was Jackson Wink, right?
Jackson's. Yeah, he was training with John Jones.
That's when they changed his striking. He looked totally different, dude. He looked like way more mobile. You know, if you guys look at like old Alistair Overeem with his forearms as big as somebody's waist, right? He would just come forward with those big gloves and just beat these guys down, knee them in the head with the Thai plum until they made like certain things illegal about the way Alistair was wrecking these guys. Nowadays, he's a little bit different. So I do think this trilogy fight with Badr Hari will look different. It's a different Alistair Overeem. AJ brings up a great point. We've seen Alistair get put away a couple times. I wouldn't be surprised to see Alistair be able to avoid getting clipped with big shots from Badr Hari and deliver some strikes himself, man. I think Alistair at range does fine with Badr Hari. Let's be honest, Alistair in the red zone does fine with Badr Hari. I like the fact that he's the bigger man and that he's seen him before and he's got all this different experience now with mixed martial arts. You know, people want to say K1 is the greatest. Joe Rogan is most responsible for this. Let's be honest. These K1 guys are the best strikers in the world. Bullshit. They're the best strikers in the world. These K1 guys were never the best strikers in the world. You saw it as soon as now I understand mixed martial arts, different sport. You got to worry about takedowns, all this different stuff. Travis Brown, knocked out Alistair Overeem. Like, in a fist fight where you could throw elbows, knees, kicks, where it's full striking, they had tons of trouble. And then you look at like world-class boxing, I think that's a higher level than K1 was. So a lot of people want to hype up Badr Hari, the legendary kickboxer, of course, but I think Overeem's fought the better competition across sports. I think Overeem's going to look different in this fight. I wouldn't be surprised to see him take it.
Interesting. So you feel as though K1 isn't on par with professional boxing as far as like the technique level. So you're saying it's almost in a sense, I don't know what to compare it to, maybe like a BKFC level of competition. Like just because you're the K1 champ doesn't mean you're a better striker than someone else. Or I don't know. I'm just trying to get a mental comparison as to like what you're saying, because I will say Muay Thai, then you look at like the best guys there. The argument could be they're the best pure stand-up fighters, and then we jump wait a second, left way, they're the best pure. So I don't know, it's like a tricky road, but I was like, K1's before me outside of watching K1 Dynamite where Alistair Overeem fucking beat Tyrone Spong and I saw him lose to Badr Hari. Like I remember these fights in K1, but at that age I didn't really, it's not like a consistent product I watched. I just wanted to see Overeem fight. So
how many times have these K1 guys come into MMA and got knocked out? I mean, all of them, like, so yes, no, let's I liked the first comparison, the one I used to boxing, Canelo, Floyd Mayweather's, Triple G's. I mean, I have never seen, I can't name a K1 champion who's been at the skill set level of a Vasyl Lomachenko. I haven't seen that really. I think some of the best Muay Thai fighters too, there are some fundamental issues with what they do. Me and my buddy Kevin Duggan, shout out to Thuggin' Duggan Muay Thai out there in Florida. He opened his own gym. Kevin Duggan lived in Thailand for a couple years, trained Muay Thai, and he knows I hate on the Muay Thai, so he sends me the Muay Thai clips. My problem is I'm a channel Conor McGregor. You ready? They're stuck in the mud. They're just the style that they bring. This I'm going to stand right in front of you style does not go well when you got somebody who can move laterally, who can pivot, level change better, slip, weave. I do think that mixed martial arts strikers are actually a little underrated considering how much hype these K1 strikers get when they come in. And then of course the boxing reference. I'm talking about guys who can like a Vasil Lomachenko, the way he pivots and gets behind people. That's not what you really saw with like a Badr Hari. They sort of just stand right in front of each other. This is not the best defense you could display.
Interesting. No, I get what you mean. In a sense, it's yes, they're the best in that sport, but as you've talked about, when you bring up like if you're the Rhode Island wrestling champ, there's less guys doing kickboxing in a pure sense, not doing MMA, or less guys doing. I mean, there's probably a fuckload of guys doing Muay Thai. I'll be honest. These Muay Thai guys, it's just a different style. Like I'd be curious to see.
There's a problem with it.
What if we did 4-ounce gloves? As far as the rule set of the stand-up is open rules, 4-ounce gloves, stand-up only, so no takedowns. You can do trips, but you can't do takedowns, no ground game, no control from the top. And dude, see, the thing is, if you threw in, let's say
Jorge Masvidal do this? Isn't this what
let's say we threw somebody like, who's one of the best strikers in the UFC right now that didn't do
Adesanya.
K1. So Adesanya, if you throw him against one of the best K1 guys right now, or Muay Thai guys, I think he'd be definitely in the fight 100%. But
I mean, he's done kickboxing though, so it's
what about Yuri Prochazka? Yuri Prochazka.
Sure. You could go through the list, dude. I mean, even look at these bantamweights: Sugar Sean O'Malley, T.J. Dillashaw, Piotr Jan. Their striking is phenomenal. Really good. Really, really good. Yes, I do think they compete with all of them. And I know Kevin Duggan's at home going, oh my God, Rod Tang would kill all of them. I know, Kevin. I know. I'm just saying with the MMA criminally overrated. K1 strikers have been criminally overrated and continually come into mixed martial arts and get knocked out by MMA strikers.
True. Now, the contrary side to the argument is, they're worried about the wrestling threat. But then again, Khalil Roundtree slept Gohan Saki in one shot. So we can't mention that striker versus striker. I don't know. It's a weird thing because you are right, bro. A lot of these guys from K1
proofs in the pudding
gotten knocked the fuck out when they decide let's go MMA. We have not really seen it with the level. Like it's very unlikely you see a high level pro boxer jump into MMA in their absolute primes. And you saw it with what's her name? Clarissa Shields. She gave it a shot. And obviously lost to a decent Abigail Montez, but still looked like, a developing MMA fighter. Different sports, it changes the game with all the different rules, the cage. I guess I'm going to say this, in a Muay Thai fight, pure Muay Thai rules, you throw Sean O'Malley versus, I don't know the Muay Thai game. I would lean towards the Muay Thai guy because they've mastered that skill set in a sense. It's like they have
nobody's got hands like Sugar Sean who's doing Muay Thai though. Their boxing is rudimentary considering, of course, their kick game is going to wreck his legs. If Cheeto Vera's taking you out with calf kicks, I don't know, right? But AJ, let me say one more thing about it.
For sure.
They did this to us, okay? I was the Alistair Overeem fan when he was making his K1 debut, and they all said, this MMA guy thinks he's going to come in here. We're going to kick his ass. He ends up knocking them all out and winning the tournament, okay? He was the best fighter in K1. They were shocked, okay? Because he wasn't the best striker in Pride. Chuck Liddell knocked his ass out, but he came over to, he was young. He came over before, to K1 and dominated. So look, man, the proof is in the pudding. Believe in things based on evidence. The evidence is that these guys are not the best strikers in the world. That's my 2 cents. I know most people disagree. Bring it.
Fair, Finch. I don't know. I'm at a point where I'll say, I don't know. I guess I think it's very matchup specific. There's certain guys I think that would win, certain guys that wouldn't win. Fair. As far as the best pure striker on the planet is like each weight class. I don't know how the fuck they could dictate. I don't even know if you do a cross.
It's hard. And I like your thought experiment. What if we did no takedowns? That's more fair. It's true. You have to worry about all the aspects in mixed martial arts. I could just go like this, and just that is going to make you, do I have to have underhooks for a shot? And then boom, come up with a hook. So there's a lot of, tangible differences. I understand. I respect it.
No, but I like the Mike Finch side because I do think MMA fighters are underrated in their stand-up. There's some quality kickboxers that could jump right into fucking pro kickboxing.
Aaron dropped a comment here. Boxers, it's the last one. The newest one. Boxers never cross over in their prime, so we would never know. Boxers would get ruined by leg kicks and takedown threats as well. I mean, not just takedown threats. Takedowns. Yeah.
I've always been more on the side of obviously, I don't know. I see people always want to compare one versus the other in the cage. And I'll always pick the guy that trains to step in the cage to beat the one that doesn't. Like, I don't know, like, like, I just feel like it is still a common thing when people talk, oh, why would a boxer not step over and do MMA? Because they're boxers. Why would a
so different?
Why would a kickboxer not step over to do? He's a kickboxer. Why would a guy who just does jujitsu not want to do MMA? Of course, like certain styles, like if you're just a pure boxer and you have no experience in any grappling whatsoever and you're 27 years old, sorry, you're probably not going to do well at all. Now, if you're just a grappler and you're 27 and you're like really, really good at grappling, I'm talking if you're the best like top 15 boxer, top 15 grappler, I'll give the top 15 grappler a better shot to figure it out. But there are plenty, like even you look, Ryan Hall, who's trained martial arts for years now, the striking has never developed. It's never become, not even anywhere near a strong suit in the game. It's just like a weird situation, I guess. When you mix
another good example. All right, so if Gordon Ryan, who just won ADCC all submissions, I think one took him to a decision. Pretty much all submissions. The undoubtedly the best grappler on planet Earth, especially no-gi, obviously. If he comes into the UFC, does he crack into the top 10? I'm gonna say it's gonna piss people off. No, I think you need to be better at 2 out of 3 aspects. There's the grappling on the ground, your submissions, your submission defense, your ground and pound defense, right? Gordon be really good at that. Then there's the in-between. Can you take the person down? Can you stop them from taking you down? And then there's the striking. If you're better at 2 out of 3, Anderson Silva was always a better striker, was always better with the submissions. So even if you were a better wrestler, it didn't matter. He'll beat Chael on the feet or he'll tap him on the mat. You see what I'm saying? As long as you have 2 out of 3, you're a better striker and you could stop them from taking you down. Then you'll win. If you only have 1, like a boxer, like a Muay Thai person, you need that other aspect to back it up. Israel Adesanya is champion right now because only Jan Blachowicz has been able to truly out wrestle him.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think Bo Nickel, because of the wrestling base, the ability to get fights to where he wants, would have a higher ceiling than Gordon Ryan inside of mixed martial arts. And I also feel as though Gordon Ryan doesn't seem nearly as interested in, crossing over. I do believe it happens eventually. I don't think it happens in the UFC, though, I'll say, because Gordon Ryan is jacked beyond belief. And, they're probably going to be testing him very heavily to start.
Are you making an accusation?
Listen, I'm not
is
making
he natty or not?
Listen, bro, all I'm saying is this. If there's no drug testing,
he grappled Andre Galvao, right?
Exactly.
Have you seen Andre? Does he pass the eye test to you?
Dude, no.
I don't know where Andre Galvao's neck starts. There's no real starting point.
No, this doesn't exist, man.
Out of his ears.
Like, that's the biggest thing. Jiu-jitsu is such an interesting game because it's fucking Wild West. They don't drug test. It's crazy. I mean, I don't hate it though. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just do open, do whatever the hell you want. Let's see what the biggest freaks like a Bob Sapp gets created in that.
Listen, man, especially when it comes to the sport of mixed martial arts, I like the clean athletes because as somebody who's competed in fist fights, if my opponent's on steroids, they might as well bring a dagger into the fight. They have an unfair advantage that I don't have access to. What you're saying now, I have to do anabolic steroids. I don't want an enlarged heart, messed up testosterone to epitestosterone ratios, my nuts shriveling up. I don't know what happens when you abuse steroids. Does it look like I'm on steroids? I need some steroids, guys. I'm not doing too well over here. AJ's way more jacked than me. I just think that it's better to have a clean mixed martial arts sport. So I will say that I like drug testing. Let me just put a final pin in this conversation. Aaron, shit, where was the Holly Holm one? Activate A, second one up. What about Holly Holm? She came in her prime. Did well as a boxer. Well, Hall of Famer. Hell yeah, she did well. And became a UFC champion. Phenomenal example. She trained at one of the best gyms in the world, Jackson Wink, with coach Mike Winklejohn. Mike Winklejohn was her boxing coach as well. So she was already in the mixed martial arts gym. Kind of an interesting example. I appreciate that one. That lends more credit to what I was saying, though, which is that boxers are at a higher level than these K1 kickboxers. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah. No. I agree, though. I agree with that. The best, I'm not saying Canelo could do it, would do it, should do it, but if you got like a prime Canelo Alvarez started wrestling, I believe he could be an elite athlete in anything he does.
I think, you know, I'm going to compare Aaron Pico to Canelo, so somebody's going to get pissed off. But I think that we have young guns like that. You know, I think like, you know, some of these kids coming up, like an Aaron Pico, is the one came to mind right away. That's a 1 out of a million athlete, you know, and Canelo's one of them too. So I think mixed martial arts has more of them than boxing does now. I think the UFC is getting more popular, especially in the United States. You know, the places where it's most popular, people are training it. I live in Huntington Beach, HBUTC, Ruka, Kings MMA. I mean, it is you can train at a lot of places now. I think a lot of the best athletes will be mixed martial arts fighters. Lucky for you guys.
Lucky for us, man. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people are getting into MMA, like a ton. I will say something that I've just noticed. More people will casually get into martial arts, doing jujitsu, training even for self-defense, than the contrary of going into boxing. Like majority of guys that I know that are training boxing, it's going to be purely in a more competitive sense. They want to be a fighter. Whereas like, I know, you know, I have a buddy of mine, he's doing jujitsu. You have another guy, you know, maybe he's doing, I don't know, you know, mixed martial arts of some kind, you know. I don't know. I feel like definitely though, I'll tell you, bro, with boxing, there's some savage athletes coming out of certain areas because boxing, just the way that like the sport is, the culture around it. Like I'm gonna say this: if you look at some of like the worst neighborhoods, you'll find a quality boxing gym in there. You know, there's some savages coming from the trenches.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That is the classic boxer story, right? He started with nothing.
Yeah,
it was gonna be he was robbing your mom, or he was gonna be a boxer. You know, that's the classic story. What's the classic story for an MMA fighter? He's a college wrestler.
Yeah,
he got straight A's throughout college. You know, he's a smart guy. He could have done this and that, but here he is being an MMA fighter. We got all stories, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I know what you're saying, though. It's more common to see a guy coming from the collegiate background at the top levels of MMA than the collegiate background at the top levels of boxing. I mean, exceptions, of course, Vladimir Klitschko and Vitaly Klitschko are fucking doctors and they're world champs. But the vast majority, we're comparing the 1% there. But we do have some big topics that I want to jump to, some early predictions about upcoming fights that have just recently been announced. I've talked about a couple of them on the channel, doing some news reactions and live streams throughout the week. But I'm here with Mike Finch to chat about them once again and some more for the people that haven't seen. Let's bring up topic number 1, Figueiredo taking on Brandon Moreno for a 4th time. I'm going to list every topic first so you guys know what's in store. We'll talk Blachowicz and Kalayev. We'll talk Wonderboy Holland. And then we got a special one at the end that we'll mention. But first, let's go Figgy Moreno just to get a little idea of where you're leaning there, Finch. Do you think Figgy can do it a 2nd time out of the 4?
You guys saw how good Patricio Pitbull looked against Adam Boric. That is the same group of guys. Henry Cejudo's training with them, training Davison Figueiredo, Captain Eric Albarracin, everybody's favorite out here. Though those guys are all together, that is one cohesive team, and I really think they got some mojo right now, man. I think the fire is there. So yes, I could see Davison Figueiredo keeping that long frame like he did last time, not getting overzealous, just coming right back to that stance, bombing on Moreno and coming back out. I will say this, Assassin Baby, I am a fan, man. It's not a fight that I love jumping on, betting on. Like, it's a competitive fight. There's a reason why they're doing 4 fights, okay? These guys are well matched. The God of War and Assassin Baby go toe-to-toe and give you guys good action. Did we need a 4th fight? I don't know. I think I've seen this, but I'm gonna say that Figgy edges him again in a great fight, AJ.
I like that pick. I'm going to early lean against you, Mike Finch, and say this. I think Figueiredo is getting to the point where this weight cut is doing a lot more harm than good. He seems to be pretty big right now. I know the talk was he was going up to 35. That's why they did the interim title fight. So now, obviously, second thoughts came in, decided to drop back down. This is a time where I think Moreno could find success. I'll ride Moreno early lean in a hard fight, though. Either way, true toss-up, 50-50 matchup, and what a fucking legendary rivalry these two have now.
I love it. Really good fight. I got a little bit of inside info on that last camp. I got to sit there and watch Davis and Figueiredo sparring leading up to that. They did like a closed doors, and I was sitting there by Captain Eric. Henry Cejudo was on the mat. Captain Eric was playing Bruce Buffer. They were playing booze out on the speakers. Like, you know, they were going all in, and seeing that sparring and seeing what he was doing there, I did hear he was having a tough weight cut. Even back then, that was like a week out that he was, you know, heavy coming in. So, like, I know they had to kick somebody out of the fighter house. Like, he was stressed out, dude. He was having a tough fight week. I'm dropping all types of shit I shouldn't be talking about. But, you know, he had a tough fight week, and hey, he came out with that W, which makes it all good. You're 100% right. It's tough for him to make that weight. It's a factor.
It's a factor, brother. Let's talk next matchup. Blachowicz and Ankalaev. I really like this fight at light heavyweight.
Yeah.
This one makes sense. I feel like you couldn't give Blachowicz a title shot after Rakic gets injured. And Ankalaev, I will say, I'm impressed by his overall game. But the Anthony Smith fight, I mean, Anthony Smith got hurt in that fight too. So it's kind of like two guys. I mean, I think Ankalaev was going to beat Anthony Smith. I think Blachowicz Rakic was a bit of a toss-up, but we did see Blachowicz still struggle with the takedowns. Ankalaev has wrestling in his back pocket at all times throughout this fight. But something that Ankalaev does well is he controls pace, he outstrikes guys, and he takes his fucking time, man. He's a sophisticated fighter. He's got good fight IQ. What I like about Ankalaev is he's not a guy that's going to rush for the knockout. He doesn't need a finish. He's happy to go 5 rounds and dominate. I think he beats Blachowicz here. I'm kind of feeling as though he's going to win a unanimous decision over Blachowicz. And I feel like Ankalaev might be the most skilled guy at 205.
I agree with you, man. I've been very impressed by Ankalaev. But Polish power, how are you going to bet against Jan Blachowicz, man? He's got a big problem in there when he brings that freaking piece of Poland with him, okay? It's a problem, man. So it's tough to say, yeah, go all in on Ankalaev when Jan looked, honestly, he impressed me again in his last fight against Rakic. You know, I really think he looked good. I think I bet against him again with Israel Adesanya. If I remember correctly, I put a little something on Israel Adesanya. Whoops. Hey, man, Polish power is real. He can, you know, he can wrestle when he needs to. And he keeps showing us that. And then, of course, everybody knows on the feet, his kickboxing's tight, dude. The way that Israel Adesanya couldn't really get anything going on the feet, very impressive. So Jan Blachowicz is a problem, 100%. It's another tough one for me to be like, yeah, throw your house on it. So I'm going to lean on Ankalaev. I think Ankalaev is just, you know, on his way for a title shot, but I love this matchup. It's the right test for Ankalaev. And if Ankalaev can get past this test, then it shows you, man. I mean, him and either of these guys fighting for the title against Yuri Prochazka is going to be fun. Any fight Yuri Prochazka's in is going to be fun. But this is like the right litmus test for Ankalaev. Let's see what he does against a problem like Polish power. If he gets past that, it'll be interesting to see him against the extremely unorthodox champion Samurai, Mr. Yuri. You know, I love where the light heavyweight division's going, man. I got to say, last year I talked a lot of smack about these light heavyweights. And this year, I am more interested to see what's happening in Bellator. We got Corey Anderson versus Nemkov 2 to put a cap on that tournament winner. And, you know, in the UFC, here you go. Badass light heavyweight fight. It's what I want to see.
Let's go. And I will answer this question. I think, yeah, Ankalaev does have a pretty quality chin from what we've seen, but hard guy to hit too. Ankalaev right now is consistent as fuck, man. I like the abilities. It's 3 rounds, so you think easy money on Ankalaev. I do think Ankalaev takes him by a decision. I feel like Blachowicz, I wanted to see get the title shot because I thought that Yuri Prochazka fight in Europe would be crazy. That's just incredible. That would have been fucking incredible. I really wanted to see it, but unfortunately we won't get it unless Blachowicz pulls it through the fire and beats Ankalaev here, which possible. I'm just thinking fucking difficult, man. I feel like right now I'm looking at Ankalaev versus the top of the weight class.
I think he could wear the belt. I think Ankalaev touches that belt.
I think he can. It's a weird time in the light heavyweight division because I don't know. With Glover Teixeira as champ, it's a one-off. Jan Blachowicz, he had it for a little bit. It's like hot potato with that belt. Let's see. I mean, Glover Teixeira is very live to beat Yuri Prochazka in the rematch. And next thing you know, he might be wearing the strap once again. And they might be booking a third damn fight between those two.
I mean, it was bananas. Who did not have
Yeah.
fun? Who did not spill some popcorn watching Glover Teixeira and Yuri Prochazka beat the shit out of each other for 25 minutes? That was awesome.
They had to do another one, man.
I mean, it was awesome. It's just, it's interesting to see because when you're on the promotion, right? When you are the UFC and your champion is in his 40s and he loses the title, do you want to give the 42, 43-year-old champion who lost his title an instant rematch? You know, the fight was incredible. You got to respect what Glover did. I mean, so props to the UFC, I guess, you know, but, you know, I think this like Ankalaev up and comer, this is generally what you're seeing in high level combat sports. You're not seeing 42-year-olds at the top of the division. It was kind of a sign to me that light heavyweight wasn't the deepest division in the UFC. Finally, fights like this are showing us that somebody like Ankalaev is a great addition to the top of that division. AJ, I gotta say, thinking about those four athletes we just talked about, you know, the most reliable, it has to be Ankalaev.
Does. I think Ankalaev, very good chance he wears a belt sometime in 2023. I think he just matches up well. His timing on getting to the top is perfect. It's after the Cormier era, after the Jones era.
Good point.
It's now. And you know what's crazy? Glover's supposed to be fighting Yuri's second time on that 282 card. I'm hearing rumblings that they're trying to set up Stipe versus Jones on that card. I would love to see that interim title fight, main event. Winner fights Ngannou. That makes a ton of sense to me. And I think that pay-per-view can do some numbers because we want to see thick John Jones.
And we want to see thick Stipe Miocic. I don't know if you guys have heard the rumblings that I have that Stipe's in the gym pushing that heavy weight. Stipe's trying to put on some muscle. He feels like he was way too outsized by Francis Ngannou, and that you know, he wanted to come back for a Francis Ngannou trilogy to see if he can get that belt back before calling it a career. I love it, man. And look, if that fight really happens, we'll talk about it. But how many times have I heard John Jones is going to be on this allegedly? We'll see. I'll believe it when the walkout music hits the speakers.
Let me ask you, true or false? Daniel Cormier, John Jones 3 happens. Does it happen?
Oh my God. False.
I
Daniel
wish
Cormier is as big as a house, bro.
Dude, he's a real heavyweight now. He's 280, bro.
280. My
Super
man
heavyweight
cannot
belt.
even make heavyweight. Okay. My man is comfortable. Cormier is great with the commentary and his show. You know, I gotta say, I'm a little bit critical of, like, you know, MMA shows and whatnot. So I appreciate everybody who listens to us. Thank you guys. I don't consume everybody's content. Daniel Cormier is one where it's like, I always like to hear what DC thinks. You know, there's a couple guys. And DC's one of them, man. So
Nice.
Glad DC's behind the microphone.
Did you see Sean O'Malley's podcast recently? Funny enough,
I do not watch Sean O'Malley's podcast.
Okay, all right. So you have no idea, but if you knew, you knew. I'm not gonna say it unless you know about it, man. I guess you haven't watched it.
Should I watch it? Is there something interesting?
I mean, something in the space, man. We'll talk about it after the show, and maybe we'll mention it in the future here. Because Mike Finch, since you said you're critical of shows, I'm curious, you know, what you think on the take. We'll talk after. This is future content you guys are seeing being discussed on screen here. That's all.
Hey,
now I want to jump to this next topic. What'd you say, Mike Finch? My bad, man.
I said the people are part of it, bro. Whatever you guys think, you know, if you guys want to hear us talk about something, tell us what you want to hear us talk about. I'm a man of the people, okay? I'm a man of the people. I want to hear what you guys want us to talk about.
The people's champ, Mike Finch. Wonder Boy versus Kevin Holland, the unretiring, which we knew he wasn't really retiring. Come on now.
What a good fight.
What a good fight. I'll be honest, I do have to say, early lean, I was thinking Wonder Boy when I did the early prediction. I'm starting to get a little cold feet. I'm not going to lie. Like, I still think Wonder Boy can do it, but like, shit, Holland's a lot more fucking athletic at this point. He's in his youth, I guess. He's still like, what, 30, 31? Wonder Boy's nearly 40 now. He's still good. I feel like he's still beating a lot of these top guys, but like Kevin Holland could knock him out. I think Kevin Holland can land a clean shot on that chin. The arms are as long as Wonder Boy's legs, so I guess that's the big attribute to be concerned about. Tricky fight, dude.
Yeah, so for me, I like that Kevin Holland. Welcome back out of retirement, Kevin. Welcome back.
We
One of the
missed you when
shorter
you were gone.
retirements we've ever seen. That beat Brett Favre, bro. He came right back. I like this because you're not dealing with a wrestler. We're not dealing with somebody who's going to go out there and just try to pin Kevin Holland's shoulder blades to the mat,
Right.
or like Khamzat Chimaev run him over like he's standing on the freeway, right? We're going to have a guy who's going to do the exact opposite, which is to not even be in Kevin Holland's zip code. And that's the right way to beat him for Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy's great in the green zone, right? There's a Goose Boxing out here, and one of my students also cross trains there. And he told me what they say is red zone is when you're in the pocket, you're tight, right? Yellow, you're like right at the edge of the pocket, dipping your toe in the water. And then green, you're all the way out of the pocket. Well, that green zone, that is where Wonder Boy lives, man. He'll just use that front leg side kick. He'll keep that little karate bounce, right? Keeping you far out there. That's what he's going to want to do to Kevin Holland.
You say Tai Chi bounce?
Holland is going to want to put these things on him, okay? Kevin Holland ain't doing shit with his kicks. What he's going to have to do is put those fast hands on Wonder Boy. That's the biggest problem for me, AJ. I think this fight is tailor-made for Wonder Boy to win. He should be able to dominate Kevin Holland in striking. But the problem is Wonder Boy's old. Kevin Holland is in his prime. Kevin Holland is way faster right now. The way I saw Wonder Boy against Jeff Neal, I saw him start falling, getting slower as the round 3, 4, 5 came around, slowing down. You can't do that against Kevin Holland. He'll go pop, pop, and just put you out of there. I think Kevin Holland will be losing this fight, and then he's going to sleep Wonder Boy, man. Kevin Holland, knockout.
Knockout for Kevin Holland. Wonder Boy gets knocked out by Holland.
With
People
you, Phillip.
agreeing. Clubbed and subbed. Oh shit, that's some prop. It's looking like MMA Guru is becoming a regular on Tim Welch's pod now. That dude, I saw the clip actually. Welch said we'll have him back on. It's pretty sick, man. The Red Hawk recap.
I don't even know who Tim Welch is, bro. Right over my head.
Head. He's the coach of Sean O'Malley.
Oh, got you. He grappled, for people who want to see that, he grappled Nicky Rodriguez's little brother, rear naked choked him. That was such a good match between those two. Big respect to him. I mean, he's out there competing against freaking badass kids, but like a 19-year-old kid just ran through him, rear naked choked him. Very fun match to check out for all my YouTube obsessed MMA fans. I'm one of you. Okay, check out that grappling match. Look, I got Holland KO. All right.
Yeah.
Are we switching you over? Are you switching sides, AJ?
Find out when we get to the official predictions.
All right.
Find out then. We had some time. Now, this is Patty the Baddie. Oh, Patty the Baddie. Listen, he's coming back. He's set. UFC 282, he's supposed to be fighting. There hasn't been a name officially dropped yet, but I'll tell you guys who I think it's going to be. Paddy Pimlet versus Jared Gordon makes a fuckload of sense right now. And I think that's the perfect step up to see, is Paddy Pimlet as good as the hype? Right now, he's not looking to be world-class just yet as far as top 10 material, but he's beating the guys he should, and he's doing it fairly well. I do think he can get towards the rankings, but there's some killers. As soon as you touch 15, I feel like this is a smart matchup. Paddy Pimlet, he's got the marketability of the McGregor, but this lightweight division might be the scariest lightweight division we've ever had in the history of MMA. Because if you look at guys that aren't what's the creme de la creme, right? I'm going to pull up the rankings real quick because I want to talk about the absolute cream of the crop. Obviously, we know Oliveira at the top, technically not the champion, but number 1. Number 2 in the rankings is Poirier. 3 is Gaethje, 4 is Makhachev, who fights for the belt, 5 is Michael Chandler. These all sound like scary matchups for Paddy Pimlet. If you look at the bottom half of the top 10, Dariush, savage on the ground, shines where Paddy shines, and I think he's the better wrestler. Fiziev, I think he'd be able to defend the takedown, probably can put the hands on Paddy most definitely. Dos Anjos, he's moving up to 170. I think at this point, he's not relevant at lightweight anymore. Mateusz Gamrot, this is a name that's huge to me. Does Paddy Pimlet, you think, fight well against Mateusz Gamrot, Mike Finch?
Are you serious? Are you serious right now? Mateusz Gamrot eats him like a meal.
Eats him, bro. He's getting eaten by everybody. That's what I'm saying. Arman Sarukian, domination. Demiris Magulov, domination. Now, Conor McGregor's at 12. That's a fight I'd be interested in watching, but you can't do it yet. Jalen Turner, way too big. Dan Hooker, okay. There's a chance for Patty to
I
submit.
like Dan Hooker, Patty
That's the
Pimlet. I
fight.
never thought of that.
That's the fight. That's the one to do. And if he
fight.
beats Dan Hooker, you're talking about Conor McGregor. He needs the proper path. I'm telling you, no fucking way the UFC is feeding him to these savages that are in the weight class. They got to give him the favorable matchups. I really feel like Dan Hooker could be a fight for him. I like that.
Dude, I feel like we're in the war room at the UFC HQ in Vegas right now, and AJ just perfectly played out exactly how you want to put your promoter hat on and figure out the pathway for somebody, right? That was really, really interesting the way you did that. You just showed me that you can matchmake, AJ. That was pretty good. Yes.
I'd love to be a matchmaker, bro. I've always felt I could do a great job. As a kid, I said years and years ago, I said, I want to be the UFC matchmaker, as I was like probably like fucking 13. I emailed the UFC a few times, never heard back.
I
tried to hit up Joe Silva, bro.
I sent my resume and everything. Way back. I don't know how old I was. 18. I don't know. I think that the right fight would be something like a Dan Hooker, something like somebody who is, I mean, what other way can you say it? Beatable for him. You know, you don't want to see him in there against Jalen Turner. No, man, you gotta, we want to, and honestly, even as a fan, you want to see Patty brought up the right way. Jordan Levitt was a great stepping stone for him, but even Jordan Levitt, made it a little competitive in there with him.
Too competitive at times.
Yeah.
Especially. Like, come on, bro. Jordan Levitt's jabbing you up. What the fuck's Jalen Turner going to do? He's going to rip your head clean off, bro.
Jalen Turner is so fast, so explosive, bro.
Freak.
Yeah, he's a freak. Remember that video I sent you where he came to Bellator?
He looks like the height of a heavyweight, bro. He's 6'3".
Oh yeah.
He's
he's
bro.
Explosive. Yeah, you don't get him in there with Patty, man. So, bring Patty up the right way. I think you hit the nail on the head, AJ. I was impressed with that breakdown. I agree with you 100%. Let's go start him off with Dan Hooker, because let's be honest, Dan Hooker, not the best grappler I've ever seen. Patty Pimlet might just get a hold of him and drag him onto the mat and submit him. Yeah. And if that's the case, and by the way, Dan Hooker, pretty big name, right? The name value is there.
Yes.
Okay. But Islam Makhachev ran through him like he just deleted him,
Yeah.
So you want to see you want to see a matchup like that, and then that makes sense, dude. If Conor McGregor and Patty fought, that'd be so fun. Now I've got to think they're going to want to put Conor in a fight with a more of a veteran. Like, when I heard that Jose Aldo retired, I'm like, Jose, you don't want that Conor rematch? Like, wouldn't that make some sense? Jose's smaller now. I think Conor would be more confident.
That's the concern. Jose, he shrunk so much. So, like, a big concern that I have about Jose, if he decided to say, I'm doing another one, I'm going to fight Conor, they'd have to do it at 170. All those coming from 35, and he definitely is not going to be able to put that mass on the same way he was. Like, I think to get Jose at the frame that he was at 145 is possible, but then he's going to be fighting at 170 with a 145 frame. I think prime Jose Aldo could make a 55 frame for himself and then jump to 70 in the Conor fight would make sense. But dude, I think he'd be too small now. Like it's crazy that Jose Aldo transitioned to bantamweight when for years we talked about him going up to lightweight.
How big he is. Yes, that was
Insane.
always the thing. How does Jose make weight? I mean, Joe Rogan's commentary the entire fight with Mark Hominick was, Jose had to cut so much weight. He's gassed now. Mark Hominick's got this freaking alien growing on his head, but Joe's still like, oh, Jose's tired. Look, because of these crazy weight cuts. And here he goes down another weight class. He completely shocks all of us. Mm-hmm. Same thing I said to Pitbull. I went in Pitbull's locker room after the fight, and he goes, actually, he told me when we were walking back as well. He goes, I'm going to be the bantamweight champion. He's like, I want a shot at the bantamweight title. I'm like, Pitbull, I squeezed his arm. I'm like, Pitbull, how the hell are you gonna make 135? That makes no sense to me. And if you look throughout the history of people doing it, it's always thought of as a good thing. They're going to be huge for the weight class. You see them go down. A lot of people have taken L's by cutting too much weight, by going down a weight class. It doesn't always work out. So I just feel that Conor would like that fight because, that's just another factor that Jose is not as big as he used to be and whatnot. So I still wouldn't rule that fight out, by the way. Jose Aldo said I'm still under contract with the UFC. If I have a mixed martial arts fight, it'll be in the UFC. Dude, why not, Jose? Come on, man. Entertain us with one more. I think that makes more sense than Paddy Pimblett for him. Although... I don't hate it. Did you see that Paddy called Conor when Conor was at the
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Paddy was at Conor's bar and FaceTimed him with Molly Meatball?
Dude, my favorite part is he's like, holy shit, from the front, like Conor, the reaction to the fucking Paddy's face. He's like, pretty much saying he looks fatter than fuck when he's looking straight at him. Bro, what I was laughing about is like Molly comes in and just steals the phone and just starts fucking talking. I was like, man, she kind of killed the moment there between McGregor and fucking Paddy Pimblett. Like, I wanted to see like a couple-minute conversation go down, maybe potential, talk of a fight. Maybe Paddy saying, let's make this happen. Like, I don't know.
Right? Who knows where that would have gone? Damn it, Molly. Damn it, Molly. You have to insert yourself in everything, Molly Meatball. Hey, one good joke she had, though, was the teeth. She's like, look at my teeth, Conor. And Conor's been doing the whatever the glow in the dark thing is. I'm not promoting Conor's shit. I just thought that was pretty funny. Molly's pretty funny.
I used that actually.
I'm just saying they seem to be on good terms, AJ. It didn't seem like no fight talk going on.
Yeah, no, I think we're gonna see Paddy the Baddie versus the Mystic Mac at some point. If timing works out, if wins happen for the right guys, I don't know. I do think the UFC could kind of make a huge pay-per-view. I mean, can you imagine they do that fight, do it in fucking I don't know where, somewhere that it's like like the biggest stadium they have possible in Europe. Maybe do it in Dublin. But honestly, I think you're doing it in London. I think there'd be riots in the streets with that fight, bro. Like, that fight would be crazy. I couldn't even imagine the fucking fan versus, like, obviously they're respectful between one another, but the trash talk would heat. Like, that fight right there would be one of the biggest fights in the history of the UK. Maybe the biggest.
Agreed. I mean, I'll watch it. I'm in, right? I just don't know that they'll give Paddy that right away. And you guys are saying that it's Flash Gordon, so maybe that's the case.
It's Flash, bro.
The last two on Conor here is interesting. Activate A. Conor already has a bad gas tank. Now with all that new muscle, yikes. And then right below that, Conor is a one-round fighter now. Look, guys, my biggest problem isn't even the gas tank, although those are completely relevant points and those hold water. My problem is Conor's going to have no timing, man. How is he going to come back? He couldn't even find his footing again in those two Dustin Poirier fights, get anything going, really. Now he's going to come back after this injury and all this. Like, they really should bring him back low. I remember Dana White was talking about how ridiculous it was that Conor McGregor wanted to fight Diego Sanchez. That's the type of level opponent I think Conor would need to truly bounce back properly. In boxing, they give you warm-up fights. We need a real warm-up fight for Conor McGregor. Maybe it is Paddy Pimblett.
Maybe, man. I don't know. I just feel like Conor, the next one for him, I feel like he's gonna somehow get himself like a top contender or a title fight. He said this. I've been watching the Twitter. A historic comeback is in store. He's gonna fucking go at 170 pounds. The Mystic.
You've been looking at the sparring videos,
dude. He's fighting. Who's these guys he's sparring, bro? They look like they might have a couple fights.
Impressed by your performance,
George. I'm not impressed by Conor either, George. I feel the exact same. I wasn't impressed, man. I said to myself, Conor McGregor sparring these light guys, I guess, is a right step up. But I don't know, man. I love Conor McGregor as much as the next fucking fan, bro. I watched him all the way up from the Brimage fight on. As soon as he entered the UFC, I remember it's like, who the fuck is this guy? But like, there's time for everyone, and every dog has its day, is the old saying. His day, as far as cage fighting being the best in the world, I think is behind him. I think smart matchups make a lot of sense. I think fun matchups make a lot of sense. A lot of money to be made, but we don't need to see Conor McGregor fight Leon Edwards. It doesn't make sense.
Please,
but
no.
I could see him try to squeeze his way into it. Masvidal is a doable fight. I think that he struggles even now with Masvidal for the fact that, like you said, he couldn't find his fucking footing. He couldn't find shit. Fucking sounding like I'm a Styles.
Fucking a mood, AJ.
I'm not trying to talk like Conor. I'm trying to talk like I'm from Liverpool.
Listen, man, I think that you got hit the nail on the head there. Fun fights. That makes perfect sense.
Conor versus
So
Nate 3 makes sense, bro. This
yes,
this is the
yes,
fight.
of
Like, what are
course,
we
Phillip.
doing playing around? Oh, Conor, he wants to fight Oliveira in Brazil, bro. I'm down. I'm down. If Oliveira beats Makhachev and Conor says, I'll make 155, let's go, Brazil. But I think that he gets strangled in Brazil. And I think that'd be kind of like a good vengeance for Oliveira to do for his Brazilian people. They get to watch Conor strangled after the Aldo disrespect many years back, you know?
Oliveira would smoke him like one of those blunts Conor smokes on his Instagram live, man. Oliveira would definitely run right through him. And I'm not talking about old school Conor McGregor. I always like to make sure I point out that at one time, Conor was one of the best strikers this sport has ever seen. The way he was light on his feet, he was using karate techniques in with the boxing. It was so smooth the way his delivery systems were for the left hand, the way he would set you up by throwing techniques that loop around like hook kicks and right. He had all this game spinning back kicks to the body, and then he would put the 1-2 down the pipe and put people away. It's beautiful to watch. It was beautiful. It was poetic, right? That's not what we're seeing now. I'm seeing an alcoholic. I'm seeing a guy who is not training like he used to, probably, right? And certainly not fighting like he used to. Much more flat, much more, he took too many notes from this boxing coach of his, I think. The list goes on and on. The timing's not going to be there because of the layoff. We've seen Anderson Silva break his leg and come back, In Bellator last weekend, the kid broke his leg early.
That was sad, bro.
Disgusting, right?
That was bad, bro. Yeah. That kid was I thought that kid was going to win the fight, man. And it was rough, bro.
God.
Holy shit.
I didn't see it. Thank God. I heard his bone was sticking out of his skin.
I didn't see that. I guess I watched the video, but I didn't watch like a close up. I didn't fucking look too deep into it.
Bellator's got it on their YouTube if you guys want to puke. Look, I just feel like I feel like it's too little too late for Conor. I just don't see him coming back like I expect that kid to, like we've seen Anderson Silva do. I don't know. I'm rooting for him, though. With all that being said, sorry to be a negative Nancy, I'm a Conor McGregor fan.
Here we go. Listen, I'm pulling. I just wanted to pull up the sparring. This looks clunky real quick. Let me edit.
How flat? Like, does he have weights in his shoes, bro? Look at how flat he is.
Come on, bro. This guy's got the leg.
Easily snatched that kick. Conor did not have a good enough stance and a good enough fake. You want to really make him believe those first two punches. Obviously, they're just moving around. I don't mean to be overly critical, but look at Conor's lackadaisical movement. He looks like tired Deontay Wilder getting beat up by
this is not the same Conor that we saw on the run up, beating Dustin the first time, beating Dennis Seaver, beating Chad Mendes. Even the way he's moving here, the hand's low. This lead hand is low. A capable fighter might be able to slip out the way and fucking catch his ass, bro.
Just change levels and hit those hips, dude. He's standing right in front of the guy. He's stuck in the mud. The reason why he does
now, bro. This is what he does now. He's a bodybuilder.
Oh man. Hey, bro, he's jacked.
He's jacked. Conor McGregor's jacked. He's bodybuilding McGregor now. I'm trying to just look. I like looking through the Instagram to see what he's been up to. He's posting old shit, this sparring clips. I think this is a different one. He's sparring this guy. Like nothing from these sparring clips. Like look at the way this guy throws his fucking jab. Who is this guy? This guy, he might have an amateur fight. Are you shitting me? Come on, bro. Like this is the guys he's sparring. I guess they're really trying to build his confidence back because these guys.
I like this pressure actually. This is a little better.
The Conor don't look that bad, but who is this guy he's sparring, bro? That was a good straight.
I like the timing on the two. This is a lot better. I have never seen this one. Should we commentate this? Conor McGregor pushing him around the outskirts of the cage. AJ, this is what old Conor needs to do. He can't move light on his feet no more. He better have that car in drive. Look at him going body and then upstairs.
That Conor McGregor can beat a Paddy Pimlet, the one that we just saw here.
There you go.
We'll rewatch the beginning.
It's a fun fight. Him and Paddy's a fun fight, dude.
I like it. I'm all in for it, man. I'm sharing the hell out of all this Conor McGregor stuff just to give you guys an idea what the Mac is up to. And it seems as though might be I'm gonna say this. It's definitely past the pinnacle, but he's still gonna beat some guys in the UFC. That boxing for the second clip we watched was a lot better. It was a lot better. But that pressure Conor McGregor style, to me, It's not it, man. The Conor that I want to see is the one that we saw try to replicate what he did at 45 in that other clip, the first clip he pulled up, and he looks awkward as shit doing it. Like that, I think the striking style that he had in the creme de la creme time, he was the creme de la creme. In that time when he was that on the way up at 45, dude, I can't think of anybody that fought like that. The way he fucking moved, I couldn't see him losing a fight at 145. It was
I
extremely
said
hard to
it
imagine.
back then, guys, that Conor McGregor's style does not lend to longevity. It was all about timing. It was all about speed. It was all about confidence. And you know, as you age, it's just, you know, like a wrestler like Randy Couture can win the heavyweight title at 46. Not a Conor McGregor style. It's not a style that provides a long career. And I think we've seen that come to fruition. AJ, now, we did have on the poster Islam Makhachev and Charles Oliveira. Want to touch on it?
Yeah, we'll touch on it.
Let's go.
Since we did say we were gonna do Oliveira, we'll talk a little Oliveira. Okay, I feel like Du Bronx is the way to go as far as the betting side right now. I'll tell you out the gate. A lot of people know where I've been leaning here the entire time, but I feel as though there's a real threat that Makhachev's wrestling does bring. And if he's able to just manage top position control, I know Ali posted today, oh, he's going to make him look like he did against Paul Felder. I don't think that Oliveira is there anymore. I think Oliveira's found the new level. I think even from the bottom, he'll have, even if he's on his back, he'll have some success. Even if he loses the fight, he'll have some success. But I'm not banking on him losing. I think Charles Oliveira is going to be the first guy that, I don't know, shows there's a way to beat these Dagestani savages. It's like something that we haven't seen. Everybody thinks they're unbeatable. Right now, the Dagestanis look like they're taking over the sport as fast as they've entered. They're taking it over quick as fuck. Khabib comes up, and now you're seeing everybody. I feel like Charles Oliveira's jiu-jitsu, I think his stand-up skill set, I think the fact that he's a better striker than Islam Makhachev, and if Islam...
For sure.
If he's can I see Islam dropping Oliveira? Every other guy that Oliveira has recently fought, though, what did they bring? They had the punching ability. They've knocked guys out. Granted, you've talked about, no, they're not knocking them clean out. They're following up a ground and pound. They don't follow up. The one thing I will say Makhachev has is if he landed a big shot, I do think he'd have the confidence to follow up. But he doesn't have the same striking ability as these other guys. I think Oliveira beats Makhachev in a stand-up fight. I think he definitely beats him with the jiu-jitsu. I'm looking at the game, and as Mike Finch likes to do it, 2 out of the 3, I have to lean for Charles Oliveira. It's not the only reason I'm picking him. I think X factor as well of just Oliveira having so much experience with the wins, the losses. He's seen everything there needs to be seen. And I think at this point right now, he's reached the pinnacle and looks to be, I don't know, man, just that guy. I'm riding with Oliveira to win. I'm going to lean it submission. I think club and sub is possible. I could see him knocking out Islam Makhachev. Adriano Moraes, jiu-jitsu specialist, knocked him out back in the day too. That's something to know.
I like what Javier Mendez said about how he thinks that, you know, that Islam Makhachev has a lot more power than Charles Oliveira. That is one thing I see on the feet, that overhand right of Islam Makhachev. Even his left hook's decent, but that overhand right of Islam Makhachev, I mean, he could crack a little bit, you know? That being said, Charles Oliveira is a little faster, right? And so much more dynamic on the feet. When you're dealing with Charles Oliveira, you got to worry about those knees, that tie plum, those elbows. He spins, he jumps, he's got good straight shots. Ask Michael Chandler about his lead hook. I mean, the guy is super dynamic on the feet. So I wholeheartedly agree that if you're going striker, if you're looking at the striking in this fight, you've got to lean with the champ, Du Bronx. Du Bronx is the guy who's going to be putting it on him. Very dangerous. If Islam Makhachev gets a little tired, let's be honest, big spotlight, never fought for the title before. You know, Charles a little bit more used to that spotlight now, a little more seasoning, right? Than Islam Makhachev. You could see Charles start to put stuff together, put some pressure on him, cut him up, knee him in the stomach, elbow him in the head. You know, I could see him start getting the ball rolling there. Okay, now the 2 out of the other 3 aspects. Do I have to even talk about the wrestling? I don't even think I have to talk about the wrestling, right? Khabib said that he thinks Islam is a better wrestler than Khabib. Khabib said that Islam is a better wrestler than him. Okay, I'll take his word for it. Islam's had no issues out wrestling people. You know, I guess the Arman Sarukian, that was the close fight he had, right?
Yeah, that was a good fight.
With Sarukian. That okay, so they had a little bit, but that's a great wrestler he beat. Okay, so he's going to be able to get on top when he wants to generally, although Charles should offer some, you know, some struggle there. I do think he gets on top when he wants to. So then if he can win the wrestling exchanges, now we have to wonder if Charles is on bottom and if Islam Makhachev is on top. Can Charles submit Islam Makhachev? Can he threaten him enough with elbows off of his back? What is he going to be able to do when Islam's on top of him? I obviously have never grappled Islam Makhachev, but I've grappled some of these guys who thrive off of being very heavy on top. They weigh you down. It's very difficult in a mixed martial arts fight when you get all that lactic acid built up in your muscles from pushing them off. It's going to be difficult for Charles Oliveira to get his game off of his back. I think this is one of this is on the very short list of lightweights who can give Charles problems on the ground is going to be Islam Makhachev, man. It'll be very difficult for him to get the party started because Islam, all he needs is like half guard. If Islam could just get to half guard, you ain't doing shit. You're going to be stuck underneath him. He's going to use his legs to squeeze your leg. He's going to smash him from the top position. As he wears Charles Oliveira down, I could see Islam Makhachev starting to get to mount, starting to get to dominant spots, starting to throw some punches, starting to threaten with some chokes himself. This will sound nuts, but I do think there's maybe a 20% chance Islam Makhachev submits Charles Oliveira. Because it's a 25-minute fight. That's his style. He's a very grueling type fighter. By the time we get to round 3, 4, 5, Charles Oliveira lays on the gas pedal, AJ. Charles Oliveira goes for it. If Charles gets a little tired, Islam can take advantage of that big time. Rear naked choke, head and arm chokes, you name it.
I don't think he could rear naked him.
Come again?
I don't think he could get him with the rear naked. I think Oliveira's back defense, I could see Makhachev on the back. I don't think he could get it under. I think if he was to submit Oliveira, more likely is the arm triangle due to that pressure position where I feel like Makhachev's going to be like most comfortable.
Fair enough. Fair enough. AJ does not think he can strangle him. Charles has been submitted before. It's been a long time.
Well,
we got to think about 2020.
Well, I guess technically we consider arm triangle a strangle, though, right?
Hell yeah.
So I do think arm triangle is possible. Islam Makhachev is one of the scariest arm triangles I've seen. I mean, the dude can do it from the fucking open guard. So I'm not saying no on that, but
not Charles open guard, but yes.
Yeah, no, he's not gonna. I don't love the chances of like if somebody wanted to bet on Makhachev by sub, but now you got me curious, Mike Finch. What are the odds looking like for Makhachev to win via submission? I'm going to see if there's any.
Right? Nobody's picking that, but that seems like a completely reasonable way this fight can go because Islam, I don't think, wants to make this a firefight on the feet. You know, the more this is like a dog fight on the feet, the more you got to lean for the champion, Du Bronx. So I think Du Bronx wants to make this a striking fight. If he's on his back, he's got to look for triangles. He's got to look for arm bars. He's got to look to create space, get back to his feet where he could do his best work. If you're Islam Makhachev, you want to stick to him like some glue. You want to stay on that back, meaning like, you know, body lock at the top position, working him on the fence, taking him down, putting him in that Dagestani handcuff, putting that single hook in. When you fight one of these guys for 25 minutes is a big difference. Do you got those odds?
The submission odds actually are not available yet. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't have submission odds, unfortunately, but I got the regular odds. Oliveira's minus 160, or excuse me, he's plus 135. Makhachev minus 160.
I am going to push back on one thing you said, which
Yes.
it isn't even a direct push. I'm just interpreting what you're saying.
Yeah.
You said these Dagestani guys are not just going to dominate, that these Dagestani guys, maybe even, I'm putting words in your mouth now, maybe a little overrated, you know, that people are kind of just chalking them up. They're always going to win. Islam Makhachev is not just a Dagestani guy. He is not like Benson Henderson was able to beat Islam Mamedov in Bellator. He's not just another Dagestani.
He is the premier. Yeah.
He is the Dagestani fighter right now. If you had to pick one, you would probably pick Islam Makhachev. He is the representative of Team Khabib right now.
Yeah.
And it just makes sense to me that he is able to avoid getting submitted, right? And out wrestle and roughhouse Charles Oliveira. It's a risky fight. It's definitely one where if you guys are thinking Charles Oliveira, the odds are in your favor. I mean, the champion is an underdog, so I am not telling you guys to stay home at all. If you feel like you want to go for Charles, go for it. I just think the most likely scenario is that we will see the wrestling, the cage wrestling, the positional dominance, the weight that Islam Makhachev puts on you. I guarantee you when that guy's on top of you, you feel like it's a car parked on top of you. And let me give you one more detail. I got to meet Islam Makhachev. It was after Gadzi Rabinov just had beaten J.J. Wilson, been a very close decision where he just needed 2 takedowns to win the fight, and he did it. And they went into the back, and I went in there with my cell phone to go film. And I heard Islam Makhachev tell him, just take these guys down. That's what he said. Just take these guys down. What he meant by that is that he doesn't have to risk this striking game. If he doesn't have to exchange with a Charles Oliveira, he doesn't have to go submission for submission, rolling around on the mat. What he means is you hit that takedown and you set up shop. And if Islam does that, that's a very safe way to fight. That's his style, AJ. That's something I like to see when I'm betting. He's the opposite of Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler is going to go in there, throw the kitchen sink at you, front kick up the middle, bang with you, right? He's going in and just going crazy. He can get caught at any time. Islam Makhachev, the exact opposite. Low-risk fighter. I think that's the right style to come in against a very dangerous Charles Oliveira. I'll go ahead and drop the pick now. Islam Makhachev takes the lightweight title.
Mike, I could not hope you are more wrong than any time in the history of this show, in the history of combat. I really want Du Bronx, brother. Like more than anything, Du Bronx. I just want to fucking get a UFC Brazil with him defending the belt. I need him to win. I need him to win. Now we had a funny question here. What do you think is different enough about Oliver's Islam that makes the result different from Khabib? I mean, everybody, kind of compares Ferguson and Oliveira, and I get why. Both guys, have adversity they fight through. But I think Charles Oliveira is superior as far as the jiu-jitsu skill set to a Tony Ferguson, even a prime Tony Ferguson.
They fought, and he showed it.
Dominated him. Yeah. I
mean, damn near broke his arm backwards.
Yeah.
Although I agree with you, AJ, that might not be a prime Tony Ferguson.
No.
Tony Ferguson was in his prime when he was taking that short notice fight against Lando Venata, when he was out there on that streak. The time he fought Justin Gaethje is really where he started to fall off. So what do I think is different enough about Charlie Olives versus Islam? A lot. I mean, Charles Oliveira is a totally different style of striking. He comes forward. He's, he's totally down to fight these little guys in the pocket. Little, I mean, like they're not as tall as him, but he's down to just march right in there. He keeps his car in drive. He does not move side to side and backwards. He likes to get right in your freaking face. Look at the way he fought Justin Gaethje. Holy shit. Even Justin Gaethje was like, damn, can we feel each other out, bro? Holy shit, man. Even Justin Gaethje was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then the difference of an Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev's a better striker than Khabib. I don't think many people would debate that. Islam Makhachev's got a lot more punching power than anybody on that list. I don't think many people would debate that. And his output is much lower than like a Charles Oliveira. So just different fights. I wouldn't say those are the same thing.
No, different fights. Mike Finch, it's been a pleasure, my brother. We've been on here over 2 hours chatting it up with the people. It's been a great,
man. I enjoyed it.
It's been great. It's been a great off-week show. Guys, before you leave here, make sure to smash the hell out of the like button. Show us some love at the Moneyline. Subscribe if you're new. If you're looking to place some bets next week, run over to my bookie, promo code Moneyline. You can get that double playback bonus, and you're also supporting the show. Much love to you guys. Much love to my brother, Mike Finch. Finch, shout yourself out, bro. Tell the people that haven't seen you where to find the Finch man.
I've been dropping hella content from Bellator 286. I talked to Henry Cejudo. I talked to Michael J. White. I talked to, Paulo Costa. Liver King, the Liver Challenge with Paulo Costa, Patricio, Pipple, and Liver King was freaking awesome. I got to kick it with Liver King even, all right? So I got a ton of fun content. It'll keep coming too. I got more on my cell phone I haven't even dropped. I always like to see if Bellator is going to drop it before I get ahead of them. So I've been sitting on a couple of them. I'll keep dropping for you guys. Mike Finch on YouTube, Mike Finch MMA on Instagram and across social media. Thank you guys. We will be back next week. We'll be there for this Alexa Grasso card. We'll break down the whole damn thing as usual. Always much love from Huntington Beach. Thank you guys for tuning in, and keep it with MMA experts, ladies and gentlemen. The best is yet to come.
Best is yet to come, lads. Much love. See you all very soon. Have a great night, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed another episode of The Moneyline.